Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. My green screen's on. I forgot about that. Um, it's all good. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. There we go. There's no reason for that. Don't worry about it. It definitely won't come up later. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for the premiere episode of Class Reunion. This is our 5e D&D homebrew campaign. It is like all of the games we play on this channel, benefiting a charitable cause. So that's kind of what we do here at Live from the Apocalypse. We stream tabletop games for charity, and we just ask that if you like what you see here, instead of subscribing or giving us bits or anything like that, that you consider giving some of that dinero to the very worthy causes that we are platforming. And right now we are raising money for Planned Parenthood. So this game benefits that. If at any point you are so inclined, you can click that link. You can call it the donate link by hitting exclamation point PP donate in chat. Yes, it is funny. Yes, it is also the real link. And the bot will post that John. I don't know why I said that. I'm not from Pennsylvania. But yeah, we would love that if you would donate. Everything we do here is for a good cause. And the more we can give, the more we can keep doing this. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll wait for Brennan Lee Mulligan to finish yelling at us before moving on. It'll be after this. Thank you for following us, by the way. Maybe it won't be after this. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna keep talking, and we'll see if he pops up or not.
You are a
But
sick son
there he
of
is.
There he
Kill that
is.
dog.
Oh my god, you're
Man
right!
and myth legend.
He's the bad guy! You!
I'm all the bad guys.
There he is. Thanks so much for subscribing. Yeah, if you do want to subscribe with Prime, especially, that's totally fine. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And all of the money when we get paid out by Twitch also gets donated to a good cause as well. So literally every bit of money we make from this, we put back into something else. Yeah, we have some emotes if you are so inclined. If you don't want to subscribe, as we encourage you not to, you can unlock those with your channel points. They're very cheap. We set them as low as we possibly could. And there are a couple other ways you can use your channel points to interact with the game. If you donate, you can give a player of your choice advantage, but you can also use your channel points to give a player inspiration if you want to. If you like anybody, not a big deal. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty much all of the housekeeping. So with that being said, I'm gonna go away, and a complete and total stranger is gonna come in and talk to you. So just don't go away. We will be right back. Which is the thing? Here's the thing. Hello, hello, everyone. This is fine. This is normal. This is a strange world, a flat world where one can almost see the horizon in every direction, where deep and icy waters lap against rocky shores, where a hearty people live on the cusp of the wild north, where towering structures of glass and metal soar into the skies, standing tall as monuments to the tenacity and ingenuity of their builders, where the greatest bards are deified in the sweeping canon of a mythology all their own, more god than man. A world not so different, and yet utterly alien. But it is here that the ponderous footsteps of destiny find purchase nonetheless. After a centuries-long march to this exact moment, in this exact place, I feel her all around me just as surely as I did those many, many years ago on the mountaintop. She is unchanging, uncaring, immutable, inevitable, and unmistakably, she is here, in this strange world, this Ohio. All right. With that very kind introduction that was provided for us,
Who was that?
who was that mysterious stranger? We may never know. We're going to launch right into it. Thanks once again for joining us for class reunion. This campaign, we have played one session of. We have played a session 0, and currently we are going to rejoin these characters, 1 week after we left off in the courtroom of Avalon, Ohio, where they have been summoned to appear before the judge. You were all warned ahead of time that this is mostly a formality. You're all under, the age of, most of you are under 18. You can't be tried as adults, except for one of you, but the judge has been very lenient and has been pretty clear about the fact that he is planning to be lenient. But this is a requirement, and you were also warned that there will probably be community service or something similar. You stand in the courtroom, hopefully dressed respectfully in a way that the judge would appreciate. Is that the case for all of you?
I'm wearing my dad's best suit. It's too big.
It's a little too big.
A little too big.
Kelly, did you put on some finer clothes for this particular instance?
I'll wear a sundress and a little cardigan.
Okay.
And tennis shoes because I know I'm gonna have to fucking walk.
Fair. And Hunter?
Generally respectable, probably black jeans and a button down and riding boots, but they're mostly hidden by the jeans, so as respectable as they get.
Right. And Max, maybe most importantly.
Yeah, Max is wearing the nicest thing he owns, which is his Letterman jacket that has been since the night very nicely sewn up on the side. Some very nice craftsmanship, but yeah, some probably some somewhat dirty jeans and his Letterman jacket.
All right. Now let's thank you so much for following. Now the art that you see on the screen is of our characters, but in about 10 years' time, in a very different place from Avalon, Ohio. And we'll get to that in due time. But for now, let's do a little bit of a description of what these people look like in their current form. We'll go in reverse order. Hunter, what does Hunter look like now?
Yeah, so Hunter at this time looks like a teenager on the older side of 17. They are tall and thin. As noted today, they are dressed in slightly nicer clothes, but usually they're dressed in much what I'm wearing at this moment, namely a t-shirt and flannel shirt, since they've usually come or are going to the bar. They've
Did
got
just
sharp.
notice. I did
Yeah,
just notice we were wearing the exact same thing.
I realized that as well.
I was gonna
My wife
ask,
noted that.
should I change so we could all be
Yeah, should I
wearing the same
grab my
outfit?
red flannel?
I did not pick up on that before we went live, but it's fine.
It's okay. We have a 5-minute break. We can all come back in our flannel.
I love that idea.
Uniforms? Good. Yes, let's do that. Definitely. Is that it for Hunter?
Yeah, that's about it for Hunter.
Okay. What about Max?
Max is a little bit older. Not very helpful at this moment in the court, but he's 19. He's definitely tall, very big, very very big, like upper body. He has very short cropped, kind of sharp black hair, not in like a buzz cut or anything like that, but it's a little disheveled, like it's not really well cut. Can't really tell if maybe he cuts it himself or he goes to like the cheapest barber around the corner. But yeah, it's like this messy kind of cropped black hair. He's always frowning. Even right now, that he should probably look like a sweet little boy in front of the judge. He's looking very stern and straight at the judge's eyes, not like barely blinking.
Arguably, Max has never looked like a sweet little boy.
Yeah. He came out like just frowning.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Kelly. What about Kelly?
So Kelly is freshly turned 17 as of like a couple months ago. She is of average height. She's got strawberry blonde hair that she's got right now pulled into like a high ponytail, brown eyes, and she's just kind of like, all in all, like Kelly's just average. She's just an average looking kind of person. She doesn't care too much. Most of her focus goes into other things, and so she's right now she's trying to be respectful because she wants to get this over with as fast as possible, and she thinks the fastest way to do that is to just be quiet. But she's definitely standing there like arms crossed, doing her best not to roll her eyes, but she's over it and she just wants to get this over with.
And despite what it says on the screen, what about Eugene?
Eugene, he's got his dad's suit on, his very big padded shoulders. It's already too big, but the big padded shoulders make him look even smaller, Pants are a little, too heavy for him as well. He's clean shaven. He's got a fresh haircut. He's kind of nervously smiling, sitting there. So he looks as young as he could possibly look. He's 17, but he looks like he's like 13. Baby face in somebody else's suit. Stupidly smiling, just waiting to be talked at. Not going to interject otherwise.
Okay. And then there is a fifth individual with you in the courtroom.
Fucking Christ.
He is a tall man. He's young. He's about 18 years old. About the same height as Max. Very tall.
He wishes.
He has like very wavy, sandy blonde hair in the style for the year 1990, which it is. He is wearing a very well-fitted suit. It looks very like it looks like it was tailored for him. And he, is he wearing the suit or is the suit wearing him? You know what I'm saying? And he is like sort of standing a little bit forward from the rest of you, almost protectively, I would say. Because that's just kind of, that's the kind of guy Ryan Beckinsale is. And the judge sort of leans forward on his desk, puts his head in his hands a little bit, and says, "So, what I'm hearing is you say that you were at a party. 4 of you were at a party, and you heard a scream from a nearby park. And you ran to see if anybody needed help. But then Mr. Miller happened to be wandering by. He wasn't at the party.
Oh, right. No, I wasn't at the party.
You just happened to be
foot in the party.
Yep.
You just happened to be wandering by. You heard the scream and you ran to help. Is that correct?
Just taking a nightly walk, I guess.
And this variation wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that you were the only member of this assembled group over the age of 18, would it, Mr. Miller?
No, sir. Like I said, taking a nightly walk in the neighborhood, heard a scream, ran over, saw these kids, and yeah.
The judge scans all 5 of you. He scans all of your faces very, very closely, looking to see if any of you are likely to break. How's Hunter doing?
Hunter's not doing great.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hunter, you are kind of I would say you are kind of being deceptive here, or attempting to. You
I would
wanna
say that is true.
you wanna roll me a charisma
Yeah,
check?
just had fun.
I would
Rip
love
it,
to
baby.
do that.
Slop that down, dude. Yeah, dude. Crack one for the
Our
big boy.
good old friend, guest checkout here once again. Guest checkout. If you would like to give a player advantage, just drop their name in the chat. But it looks like you do have inspiration if you want to spend it on this from courtesy of Crown Tooth.
Ooh, I would love to take that.
Okay. So you're going to roll 1d20. You are going to. Why did the thing not do the thing?
No.
The thing not do the thing.
The thing did not do the thing.
It did not.
It
JD's
didn't
reset for
show
3D.
up. Yeah, but I don't. The dice isn't even showing on my end. So, you mind trying it one more time?
Try that one more time.
Oh, you know what it is. You know what it is. You just got to click the little gear, and you got to check 3D dice. You got to go down to dice options. Thanks for bearing with us, everybody.
All right, use 3D dice.
Use 3D dice, yes.
You
Oh,
are
auto
a sick
roll,
son
too.
of a-
Oh,
Gonna kill that dog.
Oh my God.
Because else you have to flick it?
He's the bad guy.
That's
You.
Thanks,
a
Mac.
bit
All the
cheap
bad
not to
guys.
flick.
You gotta like drag it.
Yeah, but
All right, let's try that again.
it's like a
Let's
flick
try that
with your
again.
mouse.
There it is.
Yay!
Well, that's a 5. But you get inspiration. Thank you so much for subscribing, by the way. I missed that, but thank you. You get to add 1d4 to that if you want to. So go ahead and roll 1d4 on top of that.
I shall do that.
Nice.
That's a 4. That's a 4. And so that's a 9, and your charisma is
-1.
Oh,
minus 1.
Oh my god.
Thought that was the case. Okay. Hunter, you are just like sweating bullets. And Max, you definitely see this. You definitely see Hunter starting to crack under the pressure.
Max's glare just like turns to Hunter and just stares.
Yeah. The judge like looks at all of you, shakes his head, and says, All right. He doesn't look convinced. And then Ryan takes one step forward and says, Sir, if you don't mind, I'd just like to take a second to say that we do understand that what we did was wrong. I mean, we're young and we're gonna make mistakes, and that's part of being young. I mean, you were young once, sir, and I'm sure you got into some trouble, and I'm sure somebody gave you a second chance. And I mean, we're happy to do whatever it takes to make up for this. We don't want, we don't want any special treatment. We're not asking for any handouts or anything like that. We're happy to do the work, but our story is the truth. Max wasn't there, but he showed up when we needed him, and that girl, something really bad could have happened to her if he hadn't. So, if anything, you could punish the rest of us, but Max like saved all of us.
Oh my god, dude.
And the judge like kind of takes it all in, listens to the story. When Ryan says the line, like, "Oh, I'm sure you were young once you got in some trouble," he kind of like smiles a little wistfully, clearly remembering, something he did when he was young. And the judge like he kind of strokes his chin very thoughtfully, and he says, "All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is going to apply to each of you together. All right? You say you did this as a group, you're standing by each other, you're going to ride out the consequences as a group, all right? Like a team."
Yes, sir, Your Honor, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Sir.
Any of you object to that? Mr. Miller?
I just want to know what we did wrong. Because it seems like we saved a girl's life. Whatever Ryan tells you, at the end of the day, Beth's here, right? Her name's Beth, right?
It is Beth.
Yes.
Okay.
She's like sitting a couple rows back. You just hear like a very quiet yes from like a couple rows behind you. The judge takes his glasses off and like sets them down in front of him, and he says, Mr. Miller, I recognize that this is hardly the most formal legal proceeding that I have ever presided over, but it would be my professional recommendation to you that you not double down on the instance of your verdict. And that's just good advice that'll serve you well for the rest of your life.
I don't know what that word means, but okay.
Good. Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Fist. Kelly's just gonna pinch him.
Community service. You're familiar with the term.
Oh yeah, love
Yes,
serving
sir.
the community.
Well, there's a little bit of cleaning up we're gonna need you to do on behalf of your community. Apparently, there was a little bit of a soiree, a little bit of a blowout in the caverns over by OSU Avalon. They're calling it a God, what was that? What was that? Bailiff? What was that? And he like gestures to the bailiff, and the bailiff leans forward and says, cave rave, sir. Yeah, right. They're calling these kids, they're calling it a cave rave. Well, I don't know anything about that, but Monmouth Caverns, that's where you're headed. It's a bit of a mess. You're going to clean it up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, sir.
Understood.
Ryan says, yes, Your Honor, absolutely.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Don't
thank you.
thank him.
Thank you, Mr. Your Honor, sir. Thank you.
And he points at each of you in turn and says, I don't want to see any of you back here again. You understand?
Yes, sir. Never again.
Sir. Never again.
Certainly.
Your Honor, sir. Sir, thank you. Mr. Your Honor.
What was that, Mr. Miller?
I said, sure.
All right. Well, you know where you're going? Good luck to you.
You are a sick son of a...
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Gonna kill that dog.
Yeah, Mr. Your Honor.
He's the bad guy.
Goodbye.
You.
I'm all the bad guys.
Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay, cool. So, you're all sort of like gathering your things, you're packing up, you're getting ready to go. And yeah, you Ryan, as you are sort of like milling about, um, says, look, I don't mind driving if you guys want.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that
I
works.
Go for it,
I'll
right
take the
guy.
bus. It's fine.
Max,
I'll just
why?
walk.
No, Max, I mean, I got you, man. Like, you don't have to do that.
Don't
I have a
don't
big
get
car.
me.
No, but
He's
like,
got a super big car, really big. Could fit all of us and more people
yeah,
too.
it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Max, if you don't ride with us, the judge will probably just accuse you of not helping us.
Fine, but I sit in the front.
That's perfectly fine. You can sit up front with Ryan.
Yeah, he like punches you in the shoulder and is like, "Yeah,
Don't
bro,
touch me,
you got
man.
shotgun." Don't worry, man. I'll pick you up
Yeah.
first. Since
No.
you're since you're riding shotgun, I'll just grab you. Don't worry about it.
Don't pick
Uh,
me up. Just
we want to do this.
I'll meet
We
you
want
at
to
the
do this.
park.
We want to do this tomorrow. It's Saturday.
Oh yeah, I can't think of a
I-
better way to use my Saturday than serving the community.
Oh
I mean,
my
I figured we just get it
God.
out of the way, right? And
Yeah,
like,
might
at
as
least
well.
at least it's like a historic, monument. Like, it should be cleaned up, and like, at least we're gonna be doing something good, you know?
Should be trashed, you mean?
Max, you don't mean that. Come on, man.
I don't
I know you're
whatever. I
mad,
don't mean
but
you. Whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
it's up tomorrow. Pick me up.
that's a confusing sentence.
I'll be at the
He's
gas
very
station on
excited.
5th. I'll be at the gas station on 5th.
All right. Yeah, I'll grab you at the gas station, man. Don't worry about it.
We're
Cool.
all so
All right.
thrilled.
God, this is
Um,
why he's prom king, man.
Thanks so much for the ride, Ryan. Thank you.
yeah, Ryan looks down at his watch and is
Whatever.
like, "Oh, okay. Look, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my little sister from swim practice. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow." And he like takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, what a nice guy. What a great guy.
Shut up, Eugene. Max is gonna walk off.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine you're all kind of splitting up, going your separate ways at this point. Hunter, I imagine Beth is probably, going with you. She kind of showed up to be supportive. She would thank all of you before she leaves, though. She would come up to each of you and she would say, I can't really, thank you enough. I don't know what that guy would have done. I mean, I still
Probably
don't
killed
really.
you, honestly.
Max!
I mean,
That's a high possibility, but you know what?
probably
We're glad it didn't happen.
likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's alive, right?
Yes. And it's thanks to you. You should be so proud of yourself, Max.
Oh my God.
Nice job there, Max.
You're doing great, buddy.
You're killing it, bud.
Stop talking to me.
Beth puts her hand up and kind of like absentmindedly sort of touches her throat where the guy had his sword and says, I still don't know. I mean, who was that guy? What did he want? Did he have a gun? You said he had a gun.
Well, he didn't have a gun that I saw, but he did shoot at me. Shot right by my head. He definitely had a sword, for sure. Saw the sword.
I also saw the sword,
Mm.
she says.
Yes, we all saw that one.
We
And
don't know what he
grenade.
wanted.
Oh yeah, and he had a grenade too.
I don't think
We don't know what he had. We know he had a sword. We know there was
Gun,
some other stuff.
Pervert.
grenade, sword, pervert. So far, what we know.
it was Michael Myers scarecrow looking perverted ass.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
I
fine
don't
now.
know. I don't know what I would have done, but thank you. She looks at Hunter and says, I think I want to go home.
Yeah, of course, Beth. Thank you for coming today. And I can take you back.
Yeah. Okay. Hunter, you take Beth. I imagine the rest of you are kind of splitting up, or
Actually, before we all leave, I think Max would like grab Hunter's shirt and pull him back and just be like, if you say anything to anyone about this, you don't keep up with this little story that we've made, I swear to God, Hunter, you will not live to see another day.
I
Go take your
haven't said
girlfriend.
anything yet, Max. I'm not going to. Fuck that guy.
And Kelly just waves.
Yeah, man, he
Bye.
seems really angry.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
I'm not sure I would like public school very much.
I think that's fair, Beth. Although it's not usually like this.
Okay, let's go home. All right, so you all go your separate ways. You go home. You spend a little time with your families, such as they are. Actually, that's a good question. Do any of you spend any time with your families?
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
go when I go home for dinner. Before dinner, I help my ma skin some potatoes and get kind of dinner going. And while she's cooking that, I'm helping out my younger sister Jane. She needs some help with her math homework, and she's only 6, so I can still kind of handle that. Uh, and then I hang out with my younger brothers too, just a little bit. Matt, Mark, and Luke. Um, and we kind of wrestle around a little bit. They're like 13, 10, and 8, so I just kind of throw them around. Uh, and then, yeah, we all sit down to dinner, have a nice little family dinner.
Very wholesome. Very, very wholesome. Is anybody else wholesome in this group? I didn't think so.
No, not so much.
My
I mean, we could talk
brothers
about
split college.
what Ryan's family does if you want, but
No,
I'm sure
God,
it's sickeningly
no.
wholesome.
No, it's not. His parents weren't even at the house.
no,
That's
that's true. But it would,
They're on like a
it's just him
cruise
and
or
his.
something.
It would just be him like making dinner for his sister. Very, very cute. But
Yeah, no. Kelly's probably not even
Yeah.
gonna go home. She's probably gonna go to Miss Anderson's house and have like a coffee and a bitch fest.
mhm.
I thought you were gonna say glass of wine. I'm not gonna.
You know what? Miss Anderson's cool. She might be down for it, but
That's fair. Miss Anderson is your.
Miss Anderson is the woman who gave Kelly her private lessons when she was first learning how to play the cornet, and she's kind of stayed on as like a family friend type of thing.
Mhm.
Kelly has babysat her grandkids type of a thing. She'll house sit for her if she goes away and watch her pets and things like that. So she's kind of like a pseudo grandmother almost, because most of Kelly's extended family doesn't live in Ohio. They're on the West Coast.
Okay. So yeah, you do get a chance to complain with Miss Anderson, and she listens even if she doesn't, validate everything you're saying. But yeah, she's more than happy to hear you out. What what's it like for Max for the rest of the night?
Max walks home. There's
Kicking rocks, I assume.
kicking rocks, breaking bottles. No, but he does walk home. It takes him a little bit, but he opens the door. There's mom's probably at work, and there's a cold white sliced bread sandwich with slice of ham and some mayonnaise probably
Yeah,
in the fridge, and he probably grabs like a Coke if there's some.
for sure. Yeah.
And just goes to his room and I don't know.
Yeah.
That just
It, ta-
lays.
it takes you a little while to get home because you have to cross those railroad tracks.
Yeah,
You
it
gotta
is.
you gotta go over
Actually, the
that other
train
side.
was crossing by right as I was walking up to it. I had to sit there for like a solid hour.
Yeah, you thought about fighting that train, but you
I thought
decided
about
not to.
punching it. I came
You
very
did.
close to punching it.
You did.
I didn't though. I did punch the
Um,
wall though. So
yeah, I'm sure you punched a lot of things.
I have I just grabbed another like random newspaper clipping and just like covered it up. There you'll see around there's many random newspaper clippings covering up the walls.
Yeah.
So that his mom won't get mad. She tries her best.
I just got that.
You love your mom enough to cover the holes you punch in the walls, but not enough to not punch holes in the walls.
Yeah. I need a therapist really, but
But it's
that's for rich
1990, and
people.
we weren't having those conversations then.
That's true.
Nope.
I'm a
Yeah.
man. Let's go.
Exactly. And Hunter,
Yeah,
what's
so
your night?
yeah, Hunter definitely probably heads to the barn and probably asks Beth if she wants to come along and go for like a late afternoon, early evening trail ride, and just basically spends their time with the horses until nightfall and then heads home.
Okay. All right. You all go to sleep, Ryan included, after making dinner for his sister. She
Mac and
asks him a
cheese,
couple
Ryan,
times.
not very nutritionally dense.
It is mac and cheese. He's not, the world's best chef, but it's like his sister asks him a couple times, like, when are mom and dad coming home? When are mom and dad coming home? And he's like, well, they like work really hard to provide for us. Like them, just because they're not here doesn't mean they don't love you.
Oh my
And
god.
you just got to remember that. Okay. You just got to tell yourself that. Um, and then, yeah, he tucks her in, he reads her a bedtime story, and then he goes to bed.
She goes to bed at 8:30, and then he
Right.
finishes reading the story, and then he goes to bed at
Yeah.
8:35.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta get up for football practice, man. You're captain of the team.
That's true. That's true. Normally, yes, but I think he has bigger things to do tomorrow. And yeah, I think speaking of Saturday, the Max, you are standing outside of the gas station on 5th. Hands in the pocket of your jacket when Ryan's Chevy rolls up. And he rolls the window down and he says, hey, dude, let's go. Let's get everybody else.
Don't talk to me. And I just get in the car. Just like, drive. Let's go.
Is everything okay? Like, do you want to talk about anything?
No, I don't want to talk. Just shut up. Just leave me alone.
Can Wayne be in the back seat, sitting behind Ryan? Yeah, I know you called shotgun, so I just thought I'd sit back here.
Good.
Yep. Pretty quiet ride. Hey there, right guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all just got a lot on our minds. Honestly, the weight of civic
Not
responsibility.
me. My mind's empty. Ryan.
That's what I respect so much about you, Max, is you're so focused. Like, I wish I had that, dude. Like, I wish that I could, devote 100% of my brain power to one thing the way that you can. Like, that drive. Don't ever lose that fire, man.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Cool.
Watch the light,
So the Chevy
God.
So the Chevy rolls off. You grab Hunter and you grab Kelly, and you head out of Avalon proper and towards the Ohio State University campus. Avalon could be any town in America. It has your chain stores, it has your strip malls, it has your average American high school, where you all attend. And really, the only thing that sets it apart from other towns of a similar size in Ohio is the OSU campus. Um, you roll through the front gates. You do have to pass through the campus to get to Monmouth Caverns. it's like on the campus proper, sort of out behind it actually. And the car rolls through the campus. You see students walking with their books. They don't really pay you any mind. A couple of people like stop when they see Ryan and like wave at him, or like people who like just graduated from your high school like last year, like, hey, Beck and Sale, how's it going? That kind of thing. And he rolls down the window and like waves at them. And yeah, by in short order, you are coming out the other end of OSU and rolling up to the front of the caverns. And true to the judge's word, they have seen better days. You can already, from out here, you can already see red plastic solo cups littering the ground, empty glass bottles, streamers, not like us, but like paper ones. Yeah.
Nice.
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 Frig, yeah.
Finger guns at the camera. And yeah, you get out of the car and Ryan like takes a look and says, boy, all right, we really got our work cut out for us. We better get to work. Maybe we'll do it this way. All right. So there's graffiti on the walls. We should split up. Let's do Eugene and Kelly. You guys take the graffiti, and then Hunter, Max, and myself will get up all the trash on the ground. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
No problems.
All right.
I'll take the graffiti.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if we really need 3 people doing like graffiti.
Do you want to swap? Do you want? I'll do the garbage and you do the
Yeah,
graffiti.
Gene, you go do garbage. I'll do graffiti.
Okay. Happy to
That
help.
works. Because there's only like 2 walls, so like I don't really need 3 people.
Okay.
This is great. You can get the top half. I'll get the bottom half because I'm not getting on a ladder for this.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, the graffiti is all like within
no
arm's
ladder.
reach, so you don't have to worry about getting up too high. It's not on the ceiling or anything like that. It's really just along the walls at like eye level.
Is it like people's names, or so did someone try to do some like
what is it?
pictures, or is it just a dick?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
There's a
just
lot
like
of dicks.
A lot of dicks.
There's a ton of penises. There's a couple names with like hearts drawn around them, but then like a dick was drawn over the heart. Pretty
I
much
laugh
like
at that. Max thinks that's hilarious.
Same, honestly.
Kelly
Yeah.
sees him laugh at that, and she just goes, "Oh, your heart is so warm."
There's a lot of slander of like rival schools and stuff like that, but nothing really that like jumps out at you as weird or unusual or anything like that. It's exactly what you would expect from a college student cave rave.
Exactly what you would
Totally.
expect.
Yeah.
Your standard college student cave rave that we've all been to.
And
All
there
right.
aren't any like extra
Thousands.
cans, unopened bottles.
You're looking for
Breakfast.
salvage.
I'm looking for breakfast.
Is there a cooler with a 6-pack of Labatt's anywhere?
You know what? Make me a perception check.
Heck yeah.
So just wisdom for now, because you don't have skills yet.
All right. Let's eat it. What's my wisdom?
Nat
Yep.
20, nat 20.
It's
Damn.
-1. That is a solid 4.
There is not, but you do find like a cluster of half-empty Miller Lite cans.
Oh darn! It's the champagne of beers, but it's no
Don't-
Labatt's.
They've been open for like a week. Don't do that.
Ryan says, "I'm pretty sure that's Miller High Life, my guy."
Oh darn! I'm only 17. I don't drink that much, and I only drink Canadian beers normally. So
Respect.
I smash them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Max, if you want at him,
no.
it doesn't seem like you have any competition.
I hear Kelly say, "Don't drink that," and I say, "Don't tell me what to do," and I just chug them. And then
remember when I was-
step on them, crush them with bare hands.
Do you remember when I was telling you about your arm was gonna get infected, where you got stabbed if you didn't get stitches? You're definitely gonna need like so many kinds of random fucking shots from these. You don't know who drank them, and they've been here for like a week, Max. What the fuck?
That's how
Yeah,
you
they
get
taste
mono.
disgusting. Maybe I want mono, Eugene. You ever thought about that?
There
I
are
bet-
easier ways to get mono, Max.
I bet you could beat it up. Beat
Yeah,
that
I
mono
could
up.
beat a mono, man. I
Get
could
it out
beat
of
him
your
up.
system super quick.
Where is he? I could beat it up.
Ryan says actually, like literally every other way you can get mono is like more pleasant than drinking like those
Shut
beers.
up,
Man.
Ryan.
Like it's
And I
you
get
get pissing
scrubbing
people.
graffiti.
Speaking of
You all said
trash.
apart. You all said about this cleanup effort, splitting up the labor more or less evenly, and I assume you're all pulling your weight. I assume you're all being very diligent about everything, and as you are going, because this is taking you hours, this is a huge project, especially cleaning the walls. After, like, it doesn't take you that long to clear the floors, but after that, you are all scrubbing as hard as you can because this paint is like not coming off of the walls. Um, it takes you a long time. And then you sort of all start to feel drawn towards the back of the cave.
I don't wanna.
I think it's very eerie because you all sort of look up at the same moment. You feel this almost like tugging at your consciousness. And almost as one, your heads swivel to look towards the back of the cave. And then you all look at each other because you saw that happen.
Guys, are you are you feeling something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's probably a really big dick back there we gotta clean up. Probably like the biggest dick anywhere.
Yeah. Or like magnets, maybe? I don't know.
I think that makes more sense than what
Magnets?
Eugene said. No offense, Eugene.
Magnets, dude, make more sense than a giant graffiti dick, dude.
Well,
No.
I don't know. Magnets attract things. Like we all looked over there.
Magnets attract things. Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go clean it. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Right with
Are
you
you-
there, right with you there, bud.
Are you all
Thanks,
serious?
Eugene.
Are you all serious?
I mean, I haven't recommended going. I just acknowledged that magnets made more sense.
It's
No,
what
but
we're
I mean,
here
like
for,
we
right?
should.
Not magnets.
I mean, it could be magnets. Do you know how magnets work?
Do you know how my fists work, dude?
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just go. Fuck it. Let's just go.
Max.
I'm going to pick up an empty
Okay.
glass bottle that was like in one of our trash bags. Kelly goes and she gets one. He was like, "Let's just go. Fuck it. Let's just go."
All right.
Finally.
Yeah. I mean, even I think whatever it is, we should probably investigate. Because, like,
I
maybe it's a
guess.
dick, but like maybe it's something else.
What if
And
it's that
I don't-
guy? What if that
Yeah.
guy is back?
Well,
I'm just gonna
then-
say it. I'm just gonna say it. I know we don't talk about it, and we've never talked about it before, but like, that guy did magic, right?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe.
I
listen,
mean, he kind of did.
if
Are
you
you
guys
a
say so,
nerd?
I didn't.
Magic isn't real.
That's how you shoot a gun without having a gun.
I mean, it
Listen.
could have been a flare gun. It could have been.
Could have been a flare gun though. Maybe he doesn't have
I don't
magic.
think.
Now that I think about it, right, guy? Hunter's
I
making
didn't-
some pretty interesting points.
I didn't see anything that looked like magic. I saw a dude with a sketchy ass coat leave a party, come into a party, kidnap a girl, and try to stab her. Like, I didn't see any magic.
I saw
Yeah, but
I saw a pervert with a sword, and that's it.
yeah, but
I
you,
mean-
Kelly, you weren't upstairs when like we tackled him because like he, I mean, he
Yeah, he had a
kind of
grenade. We already
exploded.
discussed this.
Oh,
I
magic
mean, come on, man,
grenade.
it wasn't.
There was no
It
grenade.
wasn't a
Your house
grenade.
Yeah.
would be leveled.
You're
We
right.
would
It's
be
a
dead.
Yeah.
it's a magic
Big
grenade.
sneeze then. I don't know.
No, but he also was in two places at once because
Or there was
he
just
let,
two guys. Or there was just two guys. We
or there
never
were two
proved that.
guys.
Could be.
I mean, look, we can argue about this all day, but he had a sword. He showed up in like a bunch of different places. He like exploded with some kind of, I don't know, energy force thing, like a Jedi or
Sneeze.
something. I mean, I'm just connecting the dots here. Also, remember, like, he pointed that sword at us and told us to kneel. Like, that's some King Arthur shit right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or he was
true.
gonna
Who
cut
the
Beth's
fuck is
throat. He
King
didn't magically
Arthur?
make us kneel. He threatened a human life.
That's true
No,
as
but like,
well.
who tells somebody to kneel so he can cut their head off? Like, that's what I mean.
Perverts,
That's
dude.
Perverts. I was
Perverts
gonna say it.
rewards.
Perverts.
Thank you, Eugene.
yeah.
You know,
I
there are a lot of good points going around here, back and forth.
No, there aren't.
Magic or no magic, or magic. Who's to say? I think we should go investigate that big dick. I think we're gonna learn something from it.
I agree. I agree.
Also, if it is that guy, then we're here and we're gonna kick his fucking ass, dude.
Yeah,
He's done for, dude.
for sure.
Okay, I'm in. Let's go.
You don't have to be though. You could just stay.
No, don't worry, Max. I got you.
No, don't.
I've got your back. You've got my back. That's how it's always been. That's how it's
I
always going to be
don't
from this
have
point
your
on.
back. I do not have your back.
You say that, but I know you do, man.
It's okay, Ryan.
The
Eugene
chips
has
are
your back.
down.
I got your back there, right guy. Captain's code.
I know you do. I know you do. We all have each other's backs. Let's make a deal right now to always have each other's backs, no matter what.
Hands
What?
in the huddle, huh?
I
Come on
was
now.
about to make fun of you for doing that.
Hands in the huddle, guys. Come
Come
on.
on now,
Come on.
guys.
Why not?
This is stupid, dude. Smack my hand in there.
All
All
right.
right.
3,
All right.
2, 1, go team!
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying that either.
Ryan says it. Go team.
Yes.
All right.
Oh God.
God,
All right, let's get moving.
it was
Let's see what we
really
can find.
So bad. All right, let's go kick this
You
guy's ass.
you start walking further into the caverns, and you've probably all been in Monmouth Caverns before. It's historic. It's a landmark. There's not a lot to do in Avalon, and you've definitely been here on a school field trip at least once. The caves themselves are like not spectacular if you've seen them before. They're very impressive the first time. They're huge and open. Um, there's weird noises. There's like reflecting pools, huge stalactites, huge stalagmites. You know, pretty much everything you'd expect. But for the first like half mile or so that you're walking, you still feel this tugging at your consciousness. And you're having conversations. You're like joking around, you're talking to each other. And then the talking stops. And you're just walking. You lose track of time. And by the time you realize that you've lost track of time, you have no idea how long you've been walking for. But you know your feet hurt and your legs hurt and you feel hungry and thirsty more than you ever have in your life. And there's
Can we
no
still-
light this deep underground, of course. You brought flashlights with you, but you also realize that at some point the batteries died because you're just carrying them and they're not producing any light.
Spooky.
Ryan stops. He was leading the way.
Of course.
Of course he was.
Of course. He stops and it's the same sort of group effect where you all become aware of this at the same time. You all sort of realize, like, what are we doing? Ryan stops walking and he says, "What? What happened? Where? How long have we been walking?"
I don't know, but my feet are killing me, man.
Where are we?
How deep does this go?
Forever.
Ryan, this is your fault, man. We were following you, dude, and where are we, dude?
I don't know, but I think is that look, there's light. There's light up ahead. And he like points and you see like a soft sort of like lavender light.
That's not. I don't think that's like an out light.
No, I think it's a glow stick.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cave rave, right? So
I mean, it's worth checking
I mean,
out. At
but
least then we'd have light.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have no idea. Like, we have to. We have no choice. We have to go there.
definitely, maybe the rave's still going on.
I mean,
No, maybe there's
He starts
beers.
walking.
Oh, beers.
beers.
Maybe there's beers. Maybe there's
Oh
beers.
God.
He starts walking, and you realize as you get closer that it is not a glow stick.
Oh damn.
You actually don't know what. You don't know exactly what it is, but
Is it Max?
as you get closer to it, you see that the pathway, the passageway is opening up into a larger room. And you look in as you approach it, where the light is coming from. The light is being given off by these large, sort of oval-shaped things. They almost look like textbook pictures you've seen of pupa,
Oh God.
Oh no.
the middle stage of like a moth or like a caterpillar's life cycle.
Like how big? Like little or like?
Like punching bag size?
Eh?
Max
Bigger
has
than-
never
taller
seen.
than
No,
He's
Max,
never
no.
opened a book ever.
Why are there glowing
Taller
punching
than
bags,
a-
dude? What the hell is that?
taller than a man.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Taller than a man.
Taller than Max or Ryan.
No.
Um,
Yikes.
as you Ryan steps into the room and sort of like walks up to one, like the closest one, and you're not sure how many there are in this room, because there's sort of this like winding path through, and then you can see these things, these like cocoons or whatever you want to call them, lining the sides. And he like walks up to one. He doesn't touch it, but he stops and he stares like up at it.
Does he look like does he look like compelled to go up there, or does he just look naturally curious? Like, does he look like something came over him?
I mean, he looks stunned, but like he doesn't touch it. And like as he stands in front of it, he says, "What do you think this is?"
Oh well.
Poke it.
No.
No.
Bad.
Yeah, I
No.
kind of have an urge to punch it. Like, does anybody else have just like
No,
a
I
sudden
don't.
urge? Just
Max,
like,
no, Max,
There's-
don't
that
punch
is-
it. Don't
That is
punch
an
it.
urge. That is an urge that is unique to yourself, Max.
Yeah, let's not punch
Max,
anything, shall
if
we?
you wanna touch one, I'll touch one at the same time.
Eugene,
Three, two, one,
please.
go.
No.
dude, are you daring me to
Ryan-
punch
I'm just
one?
saying, if you do it, I'll do it.
No, they're minding their own business. They're minding their own
Let's
business.
at least figure out what it is before we go around poking it.
Dude, they're just giant glowing punching bags. Looks like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
No,
they're.
Six.
I'm pretty sure they're bugs. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure they're
gross.
bugs.
Ryan's gonna like step up to Max and sort of like put a hand like on his chest, and be like, "Look,
No.
Look. We got to be smart about this, okay?
I don't
Like,
think I'm
I
smart.
know you're a man of action, and I know you're smart, and that's why I need you to be smart. I need you to use your head, okay?
Max is just like tense. He's just like like waiting for Ryan to move his hand.
Ryan will move his hand, but he'll say, "Look, can we all agree we're not going to touch these? Can we all agree we're not going to touch it?"
All right, I won't touch it yet.
Okay. All
You
right.
don't need me to promise. I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah, I don't see any
Good.
reason to do that.
Now that you're in the room and you have a better look at these things, they don't look exactly like cocoons because they're a little more like bloated. And if you lean in really close, you can almost see like there's fluid inside of some kind.
So they are giant glow
They
sticks,
look
is what I'm
like
hearing.
they kind of.
First hypothesis actually correct.
They're a little more like they're a little more teardrop shaped than you thought at first. Yeah. And when you lean in really close, you can almost make out a shadowy form inside of it, but you can't figure out any sort of details or anything like that. Ryan's like, "Look, man, that magic theory's starting to feel pretty real."
Okay, well, like, why does it have to be magic? Why can't this just be like somebody's like illegal science project from the university?
Or it could be killer clowns.
Could
Excuse
be
me,
killer
wait.
clowns.
Stop.
Could be aliens instead of magic. What do you believe in more, aliens or magic?
Aliens.
I mean, same. Probably aliens then.
I mean, it's
Consensus?
weird.
Hands up. Aliens for consensus? Hands up.
Aliens.
Aliens? That's it. It's decided.
Yeah,
What
okay,
does Ryan
maybe
believe in?
it's aliens.
Magic?
Majority rules.
Oh no, I think it's magic. I think it's magic now.
Darn. Still majority rules.
I think it could be aliens, definitely. I mean, this feels like very, Steven Spielberg, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know this Steven. He doesn't go to our school, I don't think. And even if it's aliens or magic, dude, like I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want this. I don't like it. I don't want this.
Oh, sorry there, Max. I didn't realize you were so scared of big old blobs. I didn't
Gee.
realize you were so full of fear.
You said I'm scared of these little.
Eugene, stop.
Do you want me to walk you
little
back to the
punching
car?
bags?
Do you want me to walk you back to the car?
Eugene, I will crush you into one of these.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I
that
will
would be so
swirly you
disgusting.
in one of these. I've never swirlied you before, and I will start now if you say that again.
I mean, you'd have to get close to it. Obviously, you're so scared to get so close to it that
Max
it might be
walks
hard
straight
to.
up to one. This close? How about you want me to lick it, dude? Is that what you want?
Could you not?
Punch it? Because I will.
Could you not?
Eugene,
Do not lick it.
why?
No, you're good there, guy.
Oh my god.
Probably doesn't taste great.
Nobody's
Unless it tastes like
nobody's
cotton
daring
candy.
you to do anything. Nobody's daring you to do
Shut
anything.
up, Brian.
Look, it keeps going. Let's just keep walking, okay?
I mean, I guess.
Just don't touch anything. Okay.
If you say so,
Let's
Captain.
just follow me. All right. Ryan walks forward, sort of gingerly skirting around all of these sacks, for lack of a better term. And you all like are following behind, but I imagine, not super
Max
closely.
touches
There's a
one.
lot. All right. Max, you touch
Just a
one.
little.
And
Just as we're walking by. Unless Brian
can
doesn't
you
tell me what to
roll?
do.
Can you
Just
roll?
graze one.
Can you just roll your wisdom for me?
What is my wisdom? Oh.
Is your wisdom?
It's nothing, it's flat. Hold on.
Well,
Fingers crossed for you, bud.
Oh. Oh wait, okay. Just the flat of D20. 11.
Hey,
okay.
could be worse.
Yeah,
Best one so
Max.
far.
Max falls silent. The rest of you maybe don't notice he touches one of them, but he stops talking. And it's at that moment when you all sort of like stop to check on Max that Ryan says, like from around a bend a little ways up, Ryan says, "Holy shit. You guys got to see this."
Come on now, Max. Let's go.
Yeah. You step around that corner and you see Ryan standing in front of a pool. A reflecting pool, it looks like. A pool of water, standing water, almost impossibly still. Like the surface looks like a mirror. Yo,
Yeah.
okay. That, he points at it, he says, "That's not the weird part."
Wait, that's not the weird part?
He like kneels down and picks up a rock and he tosses it in, disturbing the water's surface. And that mirror surface that's just reflecting everything right back up, sort of like the ripples sort of knock it away. And underneath you see a night sky. And you can't really be sure of what it is, but it looks like there are these like rocky structures pointing straight down. Like there's nothing for them to attach to.
Whoa.
What
Is
is
this-
that?
What if this is not a cave, guys? What if this is just an alien ship?
Oh yeah, alien magic. I
Max,
Oh no.
you're gonna jump in.
Can we try to stop him when we see him going?
You just hear heavy
Um,
footsteps of me just going.
Can I try to stop him?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think any of you were expecting this. I think Ryan actually tries, and he sort of tackles Max like around the waist to try to stop him because he plays football. But Max is too big and just carries them both into the water.
Oh gosh. Oh frig.
With a huge
Well,
splash.
Max is gonna be so fucking mad.
fuck it. Yeah.
No!
Eugene!
We gotta go get him, right?
Hunter.
Just
That's
fucking
fun.
grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down,
Yay.
dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
So it's just Kelly and Hunter standing
Yep.
here in this dark room.
It is. Thank you, Jason, for your donation.
Thank you.
You said,
Yep.
Max, you should punch something. I'm assuming you're giving Max advantage to punch something at a point in the future when he gets to punch something.
I'll write that down.
So it's just Kelly and Hunter standing there now
Yeah.
on the edge of the water.
What do we do? Do we go after them? Like, or do we try to go back and get help?
Okay. Do you even know how to get back?
Well, no, because we don't have a flashlight. I mean, I guess we could keep walking and I could keep my hand on the side of the wall, but if we made any turns, I'm going to be fucked.
I still have that glass bottle. If Kelly turns around and she throws it into the lake, does it still show that same night sky?
Mm-hmm.
Do we get a glimpse of the others?
Yeah, I'll say you do. You see them standing there. You see like Ryan yelling at Max, who's just kind of standing there looking dazed.
Okay. Okay.
Kelly, do you think there's a way, like, if one of us stays here, we could, like, lower the other one in?
We can try. Do you want to try to lower me in?
I
don't think I could lower you in.
I can try to lower you in.
Thank you for rating us. We appreciate that so much. Welcome on in. We are in the middle of a dilemma where two of our heroes are trying to decide if they're going to jump in the strange mirror lake that their friends just disappeared into.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna give you my hand.
All right. I'm gonna take your hand.
Okay. And I'm gonna back up to the lake and kind of like just try to lean in, and I'm like, okay, don't let me go, or I swear to God, I will slash your truck's tires.
That's fair.
Okay. And then Kelly's gonna lean back into the lake to try to see what's going on.
Okay. Hunter?
Yep.
Need you to roll me wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
Yeah. What is your wisdom score?
My wisdom is +3.
+3. Damn.
Nice.
Okay.
That's the best roll we've had all night.
It really is. Kelly, I need you to also roll me wisdom, but at disadvantage.
Oh shit. So how are we doing? Am I just rolling it twice and then we'll pick the lower one?
Yeah, you can roll. You can just roll 2d20 and then pick the lower. Okay, one of them is being cut off. You got a 1 and you got a 20, but it's disadvantage, unfortunately.
No.
Impressive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very. That's spread.
Honestly, like
Snaps. Hunter,
I got a
you
natural
feel
20
this
and a
like
natural 1.
you feel this like probing at the edge of your consciousness, similar to the thing that dragged you down here. But you managed to resist it. You managed to shake it off. And then Kelly sort of leans up out of the water, grabs your shoulders with this empty expression, and then pulls the two of you back into the lake. You
Thanks,
tumble
friend.
through. You tumble through the water, only for the briefest of seconds. And then you fall flat on your backs, looking up at the night sky. You can feel grass under you. And you can hear raised voices because, like you saw in the image, Ryan is yelling at Max, kind of like trying to slap him across the face as much as possible. Max, you sort of jerk out of it at this point. Like Ryan kind of like slaps you really hard across the face, slappers only, and you kind of snap out of it. And Kelly, you do too.
Am I still holding
You
on to
all
Hunter?
sort of look around Yes, you are still holding on to Hunter. But you like come back to yourself. You can release Hunter. You all stand up and you look around. You recognize, like it takes a second. Ryan looks around and says, "Okay, I am fully aware of how this is going to sound, but like, is this Stonehenge?" And you realize it is. Those stone weird structures that you saw but couldn't quite make out, Stonehenge. And the grass is the hill that you are now standing on.
Hmm.
What are these weird rocks, dude?
I gotta call my mom, let her know where I am.
You see a
I
payphone
mean, we have
anywhere,
like,
Eugene?
I mean, I'll find one. I mean, there's gotta be one around.
No, this place is way out there. Like it's not close to anything. If I'm
Hmm.
Are we sure it's not one of those, like, aren't there some, I don't know, fake Stonehenges in different places around the world?
How authentic is
I
this
mean, I don't
Stonehenge?
know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like, I've never been to Stonehenge. I mean, it looks like Stonehenge, right? I'm not
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
Yeah,
no, it
I mean,
It
does.
looks
looks
like
like a
Stonehenge
bunch
to
of
me.
weird rocks, dude, in the countryside.
That sounds a lot like Stonehenge.
What is this
I don't
word
think
you
we're in
guys keep
Ohio anymore.
saying?
Were you not in class that day?
Is that a
What
joke?
class, dude? Is it like science? No.
Yes, I know you're never in science. That's why we always have to work with him.
No, dude, it's like a
Yeah.
weird, like, it's like a weird phenomenon. Like, nobody knows who built them. They've been here forever.
Aliens, dude, we literally have the proof now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, aliens is starting to sound pretty real.
I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Additional concern besides the whole aliens are real thing. Um, we're not in Ohio anymore. We're definitely not in the US anymore. Does anybody have their passport?
No, I don't keep that one on me normally.
I don't have a passport.
Cool.
I don't have a passport
I don't have a passport. I was just trying to be cool.
either. Ryan, give me your passport.
That's not how that works, Max.
I
Uh,
didn't bring my passport, Max.
I
You
don't
have a
think we're
passport.
going home.
See,
I mean, we have to go home at some point.
It kind of feels like, something brought us here. Like there's probably something for us to see.
Yeah,
Maybe a
what
Some weird
creepy guy in a
rocks.
hood with a gun.
what
if
is
I see
that?
a gun,
Wait,
Ryan.
Could be.
what is what? What is what, Ryan?
Ryan starts walking towards one of the arches, for lack of a better term, one of the structures of Stonehenge. And like this, and he sort of touches it, um, touches the rock, and you all can see, like, if you gather around him where he's touching, you can see that there's like a very faint outline, like somebody carved something here. It's hard for you to make out exactly what it is.
Is it a dick?
I told you. I friggin' told you.
oh my!
What do you like? What do you mean? Is it a dick? You can't see it?
What do you see,
Yeah,
Ryan?
we're not seeing it the way
I
you
mean,
are, apparently.
it's freaking glowing. Jesus.
I mean, yes, it's glowing, but what is it?
I
It's
don't
it's
see
actually
glow.
not glowing to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a spear or something.
We're not seeing that, Ryan. Did you hit your head or something?
dude, this is why he invited a freaking pervert to that party, dude. He's crazy, and now he's gonna get us all killed.
Max, as you say that, you like turn to walk away and you see like one of the other arches and you see a small glowing object from where you're standing. You can't make out what it is from over here.
Whoa, you guys see this? It's glowing over here.
This
Didn't
this
you-
one's real, guys.
This one's real, guys.
I don't know. I don't see that one. Do I see
You
a
don't see
glowing
that one,
rock?
but you do look and you do see a glowing rock. And the two of you, Hunter and Kelly, as you're looking around, you also see them. You draw closer to make out exactly what they are because they are too small to see from sort of the center. Max, you started moving towards yours immediately, and as you get close, you see what looks like a bird of some kind.
Some weird bird over here. You guys know about
It's
birds?
glowing. It's hard to imagine, but it's almost glowing with a black light.
Whoa.
Eugene, you get close to yours, and it looks like a fist,
Nice.
Cool.
like a closed fist.
Nice.
Kelly, you draw close to yours. Yours is actually really hard to make out, but it kind of clicks into place after you stare at it for a few seconds. It's like an abacus. And Hunter, yours is just sort of two sets of horns, like deer horns or stag horns or something like that.
Nice.
And they're all just sort of faintly glowing for each of you. But as you draw closer, they start to shine with a brighter intensity. And it's kind of the same for each of them. They are all on the right side column of the archway.
Mm.
And at this point, as you are all sort of standing there looking at them, trying to figure out what is going on, you hear this resonant, echoing voice that you recognize.
Oh no.
And that says, "Hold there." And you can see it's very strange. You recognize the coat, you recognize the hood. It's the tall man from Ryan's party who threatened Beth with the sword and, let's be honest with ourselves, attacked you with magic. But he is half in the ground and half out of the ground. Like his torso is sort of emerging from that grassy ground, and he's sort of like got his his arms under him, trying to push himself out. But he's clearly having more trouble with it than you did. He's struggling.
Kick him.
Let's
Max,
get him!
Max, kick
Max, kick him!
Okay. I start hammering him into the ground. I don't know.
All right. You start hammering at him while he's in the ground. You gather around. You start attempting to curb stomp him. He sort of puts his arms up to try to defend himself. He puts his arms up. He puts his arms up to try to defend himself. And he says, he calls out in this tone, "You may do a great many things this evening, but you will not step through those gates."
I'll step through your face.
Max, you kick him really hard in the face, and his head sort of like snaps back, and he like grits his teeth, and draws his arms in close to his chest and says, "That's enough." And it echoes all around. And that, similar to when you all tried to tackle him in the bathroom, it radiates out this energy. And the last impression you see is the hood of that was covering his face before falls back, and you see a horrified expression on his face as, almost in slow motion, you're all sent falling backwards through the gate with the glowing symbol that only you could see.
Get fucked, you Michael Myers scarecrow.
Everything goes dark for all of you. And in 5 minutes, we'll find out what happened. So, thank you for sticking with us so far. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing here. This is the premiere. If you have joined us late, this is the premiere of Class Reunion, our D&D 5e homebrew. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break as things are about to drastically change. And the characters that you've come to know over the last hour and a half are going to come back as very, very different people after the break. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, we will see you in just about 5 minutes. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining us. Oh. What? What is this? I see. I was not expecting to be called upon again so soon. This world is strange as well. Not as it was, as I remember it. Time and tide have changed it into something not wholly unrecognizable, but certainly not the place I left behind. Perhaps you are less familiar with this one, though. Untitled sits at the confluence of two worlds, the blighted Nightlands, constantly threatening to consume everything, and the bright, a world of pure, undiluted magic. It's from the bright that the Danan, inscrutable Fey lords, possessing near infinite power, emerged. Just as beautiful as they are cruel. They first stepped foot into Untitled, possessing near infinite power, but no context for what that meant in this world. The Danan sought neither authority nor worship at first. All the different peoples of Anan, from the prophetic Daide to the peaceful Orn to the mysterious Makers and their clockwork servants, the Coglins, simply gave the Danan a wide berth, and they in kind found little in the natives to interest them. And then, almost as if Untitled were maintaining some sort of balance within itself, the first humans, who were refugees from the Nightlands, landed on her shores. In contrast to the immortal Danan, they were many, they were meek, and they were short-lived. And yet they were utterly fascinating. The Danan grew obsessed with humanity, dangerously so, simply taking people from their homes to subject them to dark experiments, or even killing them with the smallest application of will. Inevitably, mankind were left with no other option but one: go to war. It was not a battle they could win, but victory was never the intent. Instead, one brave soul, a mage from a long line of mages, discovered the source of the Danan's power, the world Calderon that bled pure magic into Untitled from the bright, and he offered the Fae a deal. Another chance at another world, full of humans. Or he could use the full force of the world Calderon's bleed to unmake them altogether They accepted his terms and left Anun behind, eventually fading into myth and legend. In their absence, the kingdom of Aloran flourished and grew into the power that it is today, though it is hardly a utopia. New threats wait just beyond the horizon. The slow creep of undead influence as the necropolis of Barrow exports its magical wares, the encroaching darkness of the Nightlands, and the sole obstacle preventing any faction from attempting to seize the power of the world cauldron for themselves. The Iron Pact. And now, destiny calls us home. And we have no choice but to answer. Hello, everyone. That was crazy, right?
That was weird.
Hello.
That was
I can't
weird.
believe that happened
Who
again.
was that?
Where's
Who the
that
heck
guy?
is that guy?
No
Who
idea.
is that guy?
No idea. Could not begin to tell you. But you've all fallen through your gates.
Oh boy.
And now,
Boy.
10 years passes. 10 years passes in the lives of each of your characters. But I mean, you weren't sitting around for 10 years. You were all doing things. And I think we would all like to hear a little bit about what it was you did for a decade. Who wants to go first?
Me. Poogies.
All right, Wayne.
All right. So Wayne drops down, and he drops into kind of like a clearing of sorts, but it's chilly. He drops and he looks up, and there's just this towering mountain in front of him, and then he looks the other way, and there's just an expanse below, and so he starts walking. What else can you do? So he starts walking in a direction, and he comes up on a road, and he thinks, okay, well, there's got to be somebody down there. I'll follow this, and he starts going away from the mountain. Uh, and on his way down there, he runs into these two Daide children. And Daide, they're kind of like a mix between, human, bad creatures. DM, if you want to, expound upon that. But he runs across those two kids, and they kind of, he's scared at first. They're unlike anything he's ever seen before. Um, but, they speak the same language. They talk the talk, they walk the walk, and, they're way shorter than Wayne, so he'll be all right. Uh, but so they bring him back to the village that they're from, closer towards the bottom of the mountain, and it's not too dissimilar from what he knows. There's crops around, and there are people working the fields, and it kind of makes sense. Um, but he's brought back to their family, and something interesting about the Daide is that they can do sort of prophetic things. So like when they get together, they can do what they call a song, which is like they allow their voices to resonate, and it goes out into the world, and something comes back, and it's sort of a picture of the future. So when Wayne comes back, he comes in and they do that for him, and they say, as they explain to him, they say uh, they see great things, that he will become great, and he will achieve all of his goals and be amazing, and that they are one step toward that. So they sort of immediately take him in as a foster family. They see, okay, we're, part of our journey is your journey. Um, Wayne works in the fields. He doesn't just sit around. He's not the type to do that. So he just kind of he starts out working in the fields. He works at the local tavern, and once the tavern kind of closes down, he realizes there's some sort of kind of bare knuckle boxing kind of thing going on. Um, and he gets kind of in with that group, and as kind of an aside, but with that group of guys, um, Wayne kind of realizes his greatest goal in life was to be the greatest hockey player of all time. um, I believe it was, what was it, like 1978 or something like that, was Wayne Gretzky's first season, and a very formative moment for him was watching that happen and watching Gretzky come out as the greatest hockey player ever. He says, "I want to do that." Um, and realizes, just because I'm in another world or another dimension or an alien planet, that shouldn't get in the way of my goals. So Wayne thinks to himself, first I just have to invent hockey. So he gets this group of guys together and he starts explaining the rules of hockey. It's getting colder, the crops you can't tend as much, and then the lake freezes over, and he starts teaching them how to play hockey. And kind of flash forward a couple years, and you just see snapshots of Wayne um, with different groups of burly looking guys going from town to town, kind of spreading the word, the gospel, you could say. Uh, and so he's teaching these folks how to play hockey. He's building this sport up. And every couple of years, the faces seem to change. Some of them stay the same a little bit, but you start to see a couple familiar people. Like Atua, his name is Kira. He is, our left winger. You start to see that same face over and over again. And then a couple years later, you see actually Wayne's younger brother. His name is Kaj, his adoptive younger brother. He was a couple years younger than Wayne, but as time goes on, he wanted to be a part of the team. So Wayne's starting to form his, you know, actual team, the team that he tours with. And what better to, and Kaj fills the role of a goalie. What better guy to have for a goalie than somebody who could see the future a little bit, to know where the puck's gonna go, um, just a little bit though. Uh, and after one day, he's after playing a hockey match, and there was this one guy in the audience who was very drunkenly, loudly berating the other team. Wayne gets off the ice, and this guy says to him, "Yo, you've got to come and see my dad. My dad's the best. He's got a bunch of money. He's the shit." And Wayne's like, "Okay, yeah, sounds good." Uh, so he goes and meets that guy. His name is Mance. I want to say Mance Raider. That's not what it is. It's
Mance
Mance
Ardane.
Ardane is his name, and uh, Mansardane, he's got the money. His son Lindsay kind of explains to him what hockey is and sort of the grassroots force behind it, and that people know what this is now. There are smaller leagues that have kind of cropped up over time. Um, and Mance is the one who decides to put the real money into it. So Gritsky, as it's called in Anun, is our version of hockey. And now there are these actual teams and there are groups that are coming together. We're now 9 years on, not going 9 into 10 is the first ever season, a national Gritsky League, and we're in the finals, baby, believe it or not. Uh, Wayne is the greatest player of all time so far. Uh, since he's gotten his team together, he's doing pretty well. One last addition to the team is our final member, the enforcer of the group, a guy named Torn. He is an Orn who is tall, big. He's on the ice to push people around. And he's got like this cool wood built up into his arms, like kind of like, I want to say like chitin plating, but like bark that pulls up over the shoulders, like big shoulder pads. Um, and there's one other member of the group, but he'll come later. That's what Wayne did for 10 years. He made hockey and he made himself the greatest. He made a sport to be the greatest player of that sport.
He made Gretzky.
He made Gretzky.
That's right.
That's my boy Wayne.
Who else did something over the course of 10 years?
Well, since we had a high, let's go for a low.
Oh no.
Not a total low, a lot of lows. So Kelly wound up on a road, a pretty well traveled road. She later found out that it was the road to Calderon, which is like the capital. And she wound up in a little inn run by a couple named the DeMarcos. And they could clearly tell right away that she just was completely out of her depth. And she stayed with them for a little while, worked in the tavern, she played some music. and kind of tried to get on her feet when she realized that it didn't look like the others were coming. Wherever she fell, it didn't look like the others fell with her. She doesn't know where they are, and after a while, she's kind of pretty convinced she's on her own. So she decides, with the DeMarco's help, that she's going to go into the capital and try to use one of the only marketable skills that Kelly has, which is her ability to play music. And that immediately does not go well. It turns out, starting from ground zero as a musician is very, very hard, especially when you don't know anybody. You can't even couch surf in this city. You are completely alone. So she figures out pretty quickly that this is not going to be able to sustain her, so she starts looking for other work. Brief stints in retail, petty theft, street fights. In one such street fight, she ends up breaking an older boy's nose in an alleyway scuffle, and instead of his friends immediately jumping to his aid, they instead essentially shanghai her into the back of a tailor shop and introduce her to their boss, because a good thieves guild is always looking for for more business and more workers. So Kelly essentially joined what is the closest thing to a thieves guild that Anun has, which is just the crew. And she, you know what? She did really well there. Surprisingly well there. She got on really well. She learned from everyone else who was around there. She developed close friendships. In particular, her closest friendship ended up being with a woman named Dion Rue, who was... she's one part den mother, one part wine ant pirate. And she's actually the one who started to tell Kelly more about the history of where she is and everything. And she told her specifically about the necropolis, Barrow. Barrow is a horrible, awful place, full of horrible, awful undead who use human beings to make all the easily accessible magic items that are then sold to the rest of the kingdom. And so one of the big issues is nobody can get in really and nobody can get out. And the closest they have to communication with the people inside is a smuggling operation, which Dion is a part of because she had family there. And so eventually Kelly starts to go with Dion to help her with some of these smuggling operations. And at first she tries not to get too involved. She tries to just keep her distance, just smuggle some mail back and forth. But in the end, she really can't just ignore it, especially as Dion gets older and her condition prevents her from being able to go to Barrow as often. So Kelly takes up the mantle. She starts to become kind of good friends with one of the contacts within Barrow, Edmund Veers. And eventually, against the advice of literally everyone inside and out of Barrow, she decides to sneak in to the city itself, and she starts living in the slums while there with other humans who have tried to escape their, undead overlords. They're trying to, debate between what's the better option here: organize a revolt from the inside out or just fucking leave. It is during this 4-month-long debate that the slums are raided, and Kelly is captured by the undead who are in control of Barrow, which then begins the worst year of her life, where she is captured and experimented on as a test subject for new and exciting Barrowcraft items that you can purchase at any local mart. And she stays there until the storm comes, at which place a violent thunderstorm, which hits the city, then just rips through not only the necropolis, but also through Kelly, and she manages to leap from the wall of Barrow and escape. She's not entirely sure how she managed that one, but now that she's out, she's really not happy about the conditions of Barrow, and she has taken it upon herself to begin some very aggressive highwayman-like activity to increase the awareness of the struggles in Barrow and also smuggle even better items to the people trapped there. And that's what she's been up to.
Does is Kelly known by any aliases?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you are not in Barrow, and you just happen to be somebody who travels on the highways and gets jumped with any frequency like Lindsay Ardane, you might know Kelly as the Ghost in the Storm, because Kelly has definitely gotten really weird after a year and a half with the undead.
All right. Keeping it going, Max, would you like to
Sure.
talk?
Max doesn't like to talk a lot, but Max basically landed kind of in a very farmland, small village on the outskirts of Calderon. He was very confused, didn't not understand what was going on at all. Walking along one day, angry and confused, punching any hay bale he could find. Basically gets asked to gets found by this old farm worker couple. They basically say, "Hey, you seem like you need some help. Come work on our farm for a little bit." And he is just looking for an adult to tell him what to do. So he does. Doesn't stay there for very long because after he kind of wanders into town and is there for a while, there's a band, this mercenary band, Azure Knights, if I say that correctly. He comes across them at a pub one night, and it's basically, as they explain it to him, it's basically an army of justice. And Max says, I was going to join the army after high school anyway, so why not start today? And abandons the farm and goes to join the Azure Knights. Is with them for years. Ends up loving it. Learns camaraderie, becomes friends with many of the soldiers in the Azure Knights. Does good, frees people. Just so much change and goodness in the heart of Calderon and surrounding cities. And he becomes closer. He gets closer to the captain, the leader of the Azure Knights, Alistair Greystone. Starts training with him, starts following him, kind of sees him as his coach. And they kind of almost become like a team, like the top team of the Azure Knights. But as the years go by and life gets harder and harder for the Warriors of Justice, coin becomes a much higher call than glory and goodness. Captain Greystone and Max see this kind of descent into chaos and say, try to rally the troops back. They say, we were built on goodness and we were here to help the people, and maybe that means we sacrifice a luxurious life, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah, the Azure Knights didn't really like that, so the two of them got basically the Azure Knights cut ties with them and left them to the mercy of Calderon City. Uh, that didn't stop them, though, from being optimistic as hell. They figured they were the two top best Azure Knights. And I mean, a captain and number one, they could make their own. They could remake the Azure Knights, make it something better, make it something full of people who actually give a shit. And not are just there to be corrupted and become involved with coin and violence. Well, at least not violence for for bad things. Violence is good if you're doing it for people who need it to survive. Uh, so they start their own team, uh, the Raven Watch. And they start recruiting as much as they can, and that unfortunately does not go well for them. They Calderon is a difficult city. The Barrow is close as well, and coin is necessary to survive. Corruption is an easy and slippery slope to fall down, and being a knight of good does not hold as much weight as it used to 10 years ago. So Max leaves, and he leaves the captain behind and goes to find what else he can do with his life. After traveling some time, he starts hearing about this other source of violence, some sort of game, some sort of violent whatever. He said, you know what, let's go. I need a distraction, and violence is always the answer. So he goes to investigate. He sits in this crowded stands full of hundreds of people and watches what he realizes is some weird form of violent hockey. He's never really been a fan of hockey, and he honestly, he's about to leave except for when he notices a certain player, a certain ex Eugene, playing on the field, on the ice, I guess. Whatever. Semantics. Actually, I wouldn't know that word. He goes down there. He reconnects with Eugene and now Wayne. And that is where he is now. Not a part of the team, but a part of the team, I guess. I don't know. I don't play hockey.
He plays a very important role on the team, though.
Can I
do play
take a
in
note of that?
Yeah, I wanted you to
Okay.
jump in. I didn't want to explain
I
it
also
all.
forgot to mention Eugene got a flashback when they asked what his name was when he first got there, and they were like, "Oh, what's your name?" And he thought back to getting bullied mercilessly by Max when he first told him his name was Eugene. So he's like, I'm Wayne." So Wayne goes by Wayne. Max fills the role of the face-off at the beginning of the game. So it's still very similar, but it's called the face-off because you face off against each other and you just beat the shit out of the other person, the other
crush them.
representative of the team. And Max is our guy. He's never lost a fight. The whole
I've
season.
never lost a fight, and I do not play hockey.
Whole season. Kicks ass, goes and sits on the bench, and then just kind of stares daggers at the other guys for the whole game. Go team!
After a few games of absolutely crushing and or killing the other face of the team, he begins to people start in the crowd start calling him the face of the beast. Beast being the team and him being the face. If you didn't understand, because it took him a while, but that's Max.
Yeah.
and they fell through the arch was in an environment that was very familiar to them. It was right on the outskirts of a forest, and not seeing any roads or any clear paths that they could go to towards the town, they decided to focus on shelter. And they entered the Heartwood, where they started to explore and try to find the best way to survive with the knowledge of nature that they had from their years at the barn, managing camps, that type of thing. And they certainly were recognizing it didn't take too long before they discovered some of the other beings that resided in the Heartwood, namely the Orn, who, from what Hunter understood of mythology, they probably initially believed that they were dryads. Seeing the bark like skin, seeing the fact that they were, larger, taller beings, and not having any other frame of reference. Although they were very quickly, told that that was not what these beings were. Um, these beings very much regarded Hunter with trepidation. There were a lot of discussions about whether Hunter would be allowed to remain, as humans have historically behaved very harmfully towards the Orn. And Hunter very much, got that vibe, appreciated that they were way out of their element and kind of kept their head down, were respectful, and allowed the Orn to make their decisions. Ultimately, the decision was made that as they had found their way into the Heartwood, which no humans would be able to do, they clearly did not mean the Orn harm and at least should have the opportunity to stay there. And were allowed to stay with a particular circle, a family like unit of the Orn. And were able to start to learn more about the forest and the culture and all of those pieces. During that time, they learned to hunt, they learned how to better understand nature and the world around them. They learned some of the frightful beings that are in Anun, and ultimately had two very important moments that have continued to shape their life there. Namely, one moment being an opportunity to connect with the spirit of the forest, in a ritual where they had to be blindfolded to not experience the adverse effects of seeing the spirit before a connection was made. And they approached that the same way they approached working with any new horse back in Ohio at the barn, and just approached it with patience, calmness, and waited until that connection was made. At which point, they developed that bond and connection with the spirit that for them appears as a horse-like being, um, overlaid with thorns, that they have agreed upon the name of Callisto. Um, the other opportunity that Hunter was eventually given, is that they were the first human allowed to undergo the ritual of the Ornach and to connect with what is the earth itself, and the spirit itself. For that, they had to be buried alive, which they were willing to do and supported in doing by members of their circle. And while they alternated throughout that time with terror, and calmness, they eventually settled more on that feeling of calmness and protection. And when they arose from the earth, they had the same bark like substance now covering their body. They really haven't left the Heartwood much at all, up until, as of the time this is all happening. One of the members of their circle, a younger Orn named Torin, has disappeared, and they are going to then find them, because as a human, they are likely to experience much less discrimination from the Orn, who would be very likely attacked or abused if they were to leave the Heartwood. So Hunter has undertaken this task of tracking down Torin and now has left the Heartwood and is getting to see more of Anun. than they have seen at any point during the last 10 years. And that is Hunter.
And that is our cast. It's been 10 years. You've all traveled across Aloran, the kingdom. You've all done different things. You've accomplished so much. And you've grown into completely different people than when you left Ohio. It was lonely sometimes. There were, of course, things you missed. But after 10 years,
You are a sick son of a.
Gonna kill that dog.
Oh my God, you're a sick son. He's the bad guy. You.
I'm all the bad guys.
thank you for gifting a sub, Bright Shadow Adventure. I'm assuming you just wanted to hear Brendan Lee Mulligan talk about killing dogs, but we appreciate it nonetheless. It's been 10 years, and now in the capital city of Calderon, which has a long and storied history that all of you are probably only even vaguely aware of, despite having been here for a decade. Calderon is enormous, sprawling, but it wasn't always. It was the first settlement that humanity built when they arrived on the western shore of what was then called Esselas. That was what the Danan named the continent that you are on. And nowadays, in the absence of the Danan, that name has been left largely behind except by historians and old-fashioned people and the distantly removed descendants of the Danan, who you will probably meet later. But because it was the first human settlement, it was not originally a shining city. It was not a beacon of learning and wealth and a place where anyone could reverse their fortune in the right circumstances. There is a underbelly to Calderon. There are still the original structures that were built that are maintained by the people who have no choice but to live there, sort of below the wealthy and the upper class. Now, it has been a very, very long time since Lauren has had a king, despite the fact that it is a kingdom. The line ended, as far as anyone is aware, hundreds of years ago. And for a time, there was a chancellor, and now there is the Council of Calderon, who preside and make decisions in the name of their people. They do not always choose wisely. It may shock you to learn. But despite that, Calderon is a monument, a testament to human fortitude, to human tenacity and ingenuity. And it is also where Mansard Dane has arranged for the Gritsky Championship Cup to be played for. They have procured the services of several mages to effect an ice arena within the Colosseum. And it is on this day, the day of the championship game, that Wayne finds himself strolling through the marketplace with a few of your teammates. All of your teammates, in fact, I would say. Except perhaps Max. Would Max be there?
Depends on what we're doing.
Going out and getting some grub.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
hungry there, big guy? Gotta fuel up. Big game coming.
That's true. So you are with Max, you are with Torin, your Orn enforcer. Um, Orn are very large as a rule, but also their bodies don't adhere as strictly to symmetry as human bodies do. It's not unusual
Mm.
for an Orn to have one particularly large arm, or one particularly long leg, or one particularly short leg, or features that are slightly off kilter. Um, Orn are completely hairless, and they have skin that is sort of the color of like deep loamy soil. But periodically over that are patches of what looks to be bark. Anyone who is familiar with Orn culture and tradition would probably be aware that despite its appearance, it is not actually bark. It is called Ak, and that Hunter took on was accepting this part of the planet itself, this connection to the planet itself, into yourself, into your being, becoming its steward and letting it protect you in turn. Kira, your winger, is a Tua. Tua are the descendants of the Danan who still inhabit their city. The Danan, when they were still present on Anun, built a giant shining citadel of a city where um, they were able to amuse themselves with all sorts of frivolities and dark experiments and terrible, terrible deeds. And their descendants still live there to this day. They are psychotic, they are dangerous, and nobody goes there with any expectation of making it safely out alive. Um, However, the farther a Tua gets from their ancestry, the more they leave the citadel behind, the more they venture out into the world and live among other beings and reject this chaotic energy that sort of infuses their entire being. The darker their skin becomes. Kira is such a Tua. Kira, as far as you're aware, has never been to the Citadel, has never spent any time there, and has skin basically the color of obsidian, but still is not wholly without the potential for the Danan's influence to creep in on occasion. Your brother, Cash, who's also there with you, is a Daide. Daide are they actually very closely resemble humans. They mostly live in the north underground. Um, they, as a rule, stand a little bit taller than your average. I'm sorry, a little bit shorter than your average human, and tend to be built a little bit thicker. Um, they also tend to have an inordinate amount of body hair, but it's not fur; it's body hair. It doesn't cover them uniformly. It's just body hair. And most notably, they tend to have, well, they do all have these sort of scrunched up noses, similar to what you might see in a bat, and these large ears on the top of their head, also similar to what you might see in a bat. Um, and as the captain of the Raging Mammoths, your Gritsky team, you've probably faced a lot of criticism for having an Orn and having a Tua on your team. Um, the Orn and humans have a long-standing history of conflict with one another that stems back to humans' first arrival here, and their eventual prosecution of the Orn and painting them as monsters, and the Orn eventually having to declare themselves a sovereign state, and the heart of their skin is well known. you're in search of food, and there is no shortage of it in the alleyway stalls that terminate in the center of Calderon. Um, Perhaps it is no coincidence that Mance, your benefactor, arranged for the championship game to fall on Crossing Day, which symbolizes it's a celebration, a holiday that symbolizes mankind's first arrival in Aloran on Esselos when they sailed from the Nightlands and first landed. And today is that day. Today is Crossing Day. So everyone is out and about and bustling. Spirits are high. The merchants are shouting their wares as you walk past, trying to entice you to buy food or baubles or even barrowcraft magic items, which all sort of uniformly are that very, very black metal that almost seems to absorb light. And as you pass one stall, a particularly zealous merchant uh, shoves his hand out with like three steaks of meat and sort of waves them around and says, now, you boys, you all, you look, I recognize you, and you've got quite a day ahead of you. You're going to need to keep your strength up. You're going to need protein. And that's what I have for you right here.
You're absolutely right about that one, Grandpa. Takes two, hands them out, takes another two, hands them out.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's beaming as he does so. He's so excited. Um, he he says, I'm so excited about the game. I wish I could get away, but crossing day is our busiest, and I can't leave the stall unattended. But you boys, you're going to do great. I know it, and it's such an amazing thing you've done here. Such a amazing thing you've created. This Gritsky.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mhm.
I don't know where you had the idea. It's incredible, but well, I wish you only the best in your upcoming match, and that'll be 5 marks. For you, 5 marks.
Okay. Just from a heavy bag at his waist, just pulls out 5. Yeah, that's no problem whatsoever. Where are we at here? What's the crossing here? I'll shout you out when we win the game today. Go to
Oh
the
my
stall on
gosh.
7th and 9th. We wouldn't have been
Well,
here without him.
this is Merchant's Alley, of course, and
Yep.
my name is Rando.
All right. Thank you, Rendo. We wouldn't be here without people like yourself, without the fans. There's no point in playing if you're not being watched. And that's maybe the most important thing, even more so than winning, is making sure that everybody knows you won. So I want to thank you so much for your support. Me and the boys here will win this one for you.
Wisdom if ever I've heard it.
-1.
Well, he's easily impressed, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Rando's got a -2, so like you're
Nice.
leaps and bounds ahead of him.
We've just
Nice.
spent
Um,
5 marks. So
Yeah, whatever. Money's money. Mance will give me more.
Um,
as we walk by, Max just puts down another 5 marks and just like starts taking from the stall and just
Okay.
like holds it in his hands and just eats as they walk.
He like will put his hand out a little bit and he'll say, I'm sorry, sir. 5 marks for the team. 7 marks for you.
he just
Whoa there.
he just turns around and just makes eye contact, just like as because he's grown to like 6'8", just looks down at this man, just like takes a chunk of meat out and goes 5 marks and walks away.
Five marks. Five marks. Yes. And you sort of continue on your way. You have your food now. Torin is looking around, sort of baffled at everything. Every sight, every sound seems overwhelming to him. He's never been anywhere like this before, and he sort of can't stop like swiveling his head. And he's a hand over 7 feet tall, so he has quite a view. And despite Rando's generosity towards you, you are definitely still attracting a lot of attention. And Kira, in particular, looks very uncomfortable with this. He sort of like crosses his arms over his chest and like sort of whispers to you out of the corner of his mouth and says, "How long do we have to do this?"
You know, we're here to win a game, and that's about it. You got one day in you. If we can keep our focus, if we can keep our heads, on our shoulders, then
I don't
that's all we gotta
I
focus
don't
on.
mind I don't mind playing, Wayne. I just don't want to be out here. I mean, like, you see the way they're staring at me, staring at Torin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the only thing that I can say is that their looks are gonna change a whole lot when you're holding up that cup tonight. You know, that's not what we're here for, but it's gonna show a lot of people, you know, what we can do. Us as a team, your people, the Orn. We're here to do a whole lot. We're here to play a game, but we're here to do more than play a game. But we're also here to play a game.
Do you want to try to raise some spirits?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
There booze around here?
there is definitely booze around there. There's like a beer merchant, like right behind, like right across from Rando's stall. You can absolutely grab some drinks. I was wondering if you maybe wanted to roll like a persuasion, perhaps,
Absolutely.
to see if you could lift some of these spirits. Because Torin looks a little nervous, Kira looks a little unhappy. What you got?
All right, let's do it. Do. And a nat 20. Plus 5. That's a 7.
It was a good effort. It was a good effort. Torin like kind of like claps his hands and and claps Kira on the shoulder and says, Kira, this is not all doom and gloom. You hear, Wayne, their minds will change when they see this. And they see what the raging mammoths can do. When they will see us for what we really are.
I think Max like walks up from behind and just like puts a meaty hand on his shoulder and just and then shakes it up and then just kind of like realizes he has a bunch of like meat juice on it and just sorry.
Was that Kira's shoulder or Torin's shoulder?
Yeah. Kira's shoulder.
Okay, all right, yeah. Kira like kind of like takes note of the meat juice, like fixes you with a look, and just kind of like reaches down, picks the edge of your like cloak up, and then just kind of like wipes their shoulder off with it. They like he rolls his eyes and says, Yeah, I guess. I guess you're right. We're here to play. That's all that matters. Like I always say, it's about we just got to get the W.
Yeah, playing's great. Winning's better.
It's about drive. It's about
Um,
power.
We devour. It's meat after meat after meat.
we don't stay humble. We only devour. Um, very cool, very cool. As you all like grab drinks, you sort of like turn your back. You clap your teammates on the back. Torin says, "Come, drinks,"
Yeah,
and
just
you
fucking
you
grip
step
it,
aside.
grip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your donation. Maybe if you'd like to give a player of your choice advantage, feel free to name them in the chat, and they will have that going forward. But yeah, Torin claps everybody on the shoulder and says, "Come, drinks." And you step aside. As you turn away, uh, as you turn away from this conversation, your back's towards the alley, so that you can get your beverages. Who should come walking down the lane, down Merchant's Alley, but Kelly Violet. Unfortunately, you're both distracted. It's been 10 years. Kelly, um, Kelly, what brings you to Calderon on crossing day?
To cause problems on purpose, mostly. Yeah. um,
Okay.
there is an abundance of wealthy people profiting off of the labor of Barrow and completely ignoring it, and I'm here to take some of those things back to the people struggling in the slums underneath the crushing weight of the undead, and I'm here to do it in as flashy of a way that I can.
All
If
right.
I get caught.
Are you,
Flash
right,
is
of course.
only if I'm caught.
Are you here with your crew, or is Kelly solo today?
I'm probably here with some of the crew because again, this is where I first met them. There's pockets of the crew all over the place. Carmen is somewhere around here. I was just with Carmen. I'm pretty sure he just got distracted by something shiny that he's gonna pretend to buy and then go back and steal later.
Absolutely.
So he'll find me, but he's pretty much the only person here at the moment. The rest of the it's one of those things where the crew is willing to help Kelly out a lot with her crusade to an extent, but they have to do their own sets of business. This is one of the ideal days for doing some thieving. So, you know.
That's very true.
I'm just here to cause problems on purpose on this here fine day of crossings and Gritsky.
Okay.
As I want to do.
Exactly. You make your way down the alley, Merchant's Alley, just kind of eyeing the wares. You see that there is barrowcraft for sale here, certainly. Presumably licensed distributors, or it's secondhand. Could be either. But yeah, as you traverse Merchant's Alley, you do sort of see off to one side. You see like a Tua, you see an Orn. It's very unusual, but you don't really give it a second thought, and you certainly don't let your gaze linger long enough to spot anyone you might recognize. You sort of continue on down Merchant's Alley and into the square of Calderon, which is this open center of the city. There's an enormous fountain in the middle of it with a statue dedicated to Aelor, the hereditary king of Aloran that the kingdom was named after. when there was a king, the name of Aelor was passed on to each new king because the only thing that kept the Danan at bay when they ruled over Anun was one particular Danan's strange obsession with Aelor, the first king. And because the Danan were immortal and had no grasp for what mortality actually was, every king of Aloran, every Aelor, would produce a son, and they would name that son Aelor. And they were convinced that it was the same person. And the people of Aloran were only spared worse torture and worse punishment at the hands of the Danan by virtue of having a male king named Aelor. That line is gone, much like the Danan themselves, but the statue of the original king still stands in the center of Calderon Square in the fountain. And that is where you emerge. There are, again, more people milling out here than there were in the in Merchant's Alley. The square is sort of a nexus of many of these different lanes that all sort of terminate here in the center of the city. But there is one giant building that sits in the square, and that is the Grand Library. It is a citadel of learning. It has the sum total accumulated knowledge of the entire kingdom kept within it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful building, a marvelous feat of architecture. You stop for a second in the square and you admire it. Perhaps briefly. Hunter,
A little.
I assume your purpose in being here in Calderon is to find your missing circle mate, Torin.
I think that is fair. I think Hunter has probably, been hearing through the grapevine that there is a player on one of the teams who is an Orn and figures that is a good place to start.
You've actually heard some rumblings, and I imagine Hunter is probably sort of cloaked.
Yes.
I imagine you're trying to conceal your bark-like covering.
Definitely.
So it is a little bit hard for you to sort of mingle and without drawing too much attention to yourself. It's hard for you to ask questions. But you did overhear a few people talking about seeing an Orn playing on this Gritsky team, and that they had spotted them. They were sort of like passing you as you walked down one of the lanes, saying, "I saw that Orn by Merchant's Alley. Just doesn't sit right with me. Seems so strange, unnatural. Maybe I don't know." But I imagine hearing that it's the first lead you've heard in a very long time.
Yeah, and I think with
So
that, yeah, Hunter would not have tried to engage those people despite their offensive remarks, since they are trying not to draw attention to themselves. But definitely have made note of that and been looking to find their way to Merchant's Alley.
all right, and you do so. You walk down the lane that you were passing through. It's dotted with restaurants and little, cafes and storefronts on this side. And you also emerge into the bright sunlight, this beaming sunshine of Calderon Square, the square of Calderon, which reflects off of the stained glass windows of the library in beautiful ways, and similarly sort of sparkles off of the water shooting out of the top of the fountain. You step into this square, and as you do so, from across the way, you spot Kelly. You spot Kelly Violet. from across. And as you do so, Kelly, you spot Hunter. And as you two see each other, as you two make eye contact, from Merchant's Alley, Max Miller and Wayne Hovacek step out into the middle of Calderon Square. And as all of that happens, as you all see each other and your jaws collectively drop,
Meat on the floor.
the doors of the Grand Library fly open. And someone you all recognize strides out onto the steps.
Oh no, dude!
Get the hell outta here.
No, dude! No, dude!
Ian Beckinsale
No, dude!
is still much the same handsome, lantern-jawed man that you could tell he was going to be when he was 18. He wears this like well cared for breastplate that has like the slightest tinge of green in its composition. There is a large sword of some kind slung across his back, but there's also a canvas bag slung across his shoulder that rests at his hip. And you can see that it is full to the bursting with bound volumes, books. Though his handsomeness is undiminished by the passage of time, he has these circles under his eyes, these bags almost. He looks tired. He looks a little drawn thin, but he has the biggest smile on his face as he steps out and he sees all of you. You look at him, he looks at you. He takes 2 steps down the stairs into the center of the square, and he throws open his arms and he says, "My friends, I was right. I figured it out. You're here." He looks on the verge of tears and he says, I searched for you for so long. And it's taken me this long to find you. But I figured it out. I figured it all out. The reason for everything, why we're here, what we're going to do. We're going to save the world.
Max walks up and slaps him.
Kelly.
Before you can do that, Ryan convulses.
No.
Ryan convulses and his expression changes from this triumphant celebration, this excitement at seeing all of you for the first time in 10 years, after spending 10 years searching for all of you. His eyes go wide and his mouth contorts, forming words that he has no breath to give weight to, as a shadowy form
No, dog.
explodes out of his chest violently, spraying his blood across Calderon Square. He drops to his knees. He drops to his knees with that expression of fear, dawning understanding as the light fades from his eyes, and he falls down in front of you, dead. People start screaming. They start fleeing the square. There are cries being raised. Monster, they're yelling, murderer. A man is dead. And from above Ryan's lifeless body, you see standing a being of pure, shadowy flame, almost without form, almost without substance. Utterly black except for two red lights where its eyes would be. And it fixes the four of you with those eyes. Roll for initiative.
Oh, Ryan! No one kills Ryan but me!
Give us 1 second. We're just gonna switch things up a little bit here.
Oh my freaking
There it is.
god, bro.
There it is.
Ass.
All right.
I can do this. Right?
Let's get things set up here, shall we?
No
Are we
way.
rolling?
Choo-choos.
Yeah, roll initiative, please.
Good.
I need you to do the map, please. Why aren't you doing the map? Can we do the map, please? Oh no.
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 Ooh, the map.
You're struggling. All right, I'm gonna need to reload this. Sorry, technical difficulties reign supreme as always. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. You all might need to No, it looks like you're still in here.
Yeah, we in. I can see it. I just can't see the map.
Yeah. No,
There we
the
go.
map was
I
not
think that should.
loading. Oh, you know what? I think, yeah, there it is. There it is. We did it.
The
Okay, cool.
map.
There it is. We found
The
it.
map. Okay, you all can't place yourselves, right?
No.
Okay,
Nah.
cool. Well, that is the shadowy figure that just murdered Ryan.
How dare
That's
he?
Ryan's body.
Oh.
Ryan.
Just get a
No.
real good look at Ryan there.
Oh,
Very
man.
good.
Why is he
He's
so
good.
fine?
What a good
He's
looking
a
Because he's
beautiful
Ryan
boy.
Beckinsale.
Ryan Beckinsale. That guy's dad
He's
didn't
Ryan,
make it.
Ryan freaking Beckinsale.
Got a great
Okay, let me
smile.
place
All right,
you.
fucking
What,
P.
choo-choos?
Da, da, da. And there's that. Cool. So you should be able to move yourselves. I believe.
Yeah.
I zoom.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, move yourselves a little farther back. I mean, I assume you wouldn't be like right up on the stairs.
No,
The
we were like
fountain
a
is here in the
stall,
middle.
right?
Yeah, basically. So like, yeah, let's put Wayne and Max over here. Kelly can
Cool.
definitely be there, and Hunter. Yeah, we'll say you were coming from that direction. I think that's fine. Okay. So yeah, you see this creature in front of you. What did you roll for initiative?
I got a 10.
17.
13.
I got a. I don't remember. I got a 15.
Okay. Ooh, that's not great.
We're gonna bitch him.
You know what? We're gonna do this on here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So Wayne, what did you get?
10.
Oh.
Wayne, you got
Wait, no.
10.
Can relate. Oh.
Okay. So Wayne, you got a 10. What did Max get?
14. Wait, I lied. 15. Wait. Yes. 15.
Okay. Hunter?
13.
13. And Kelly?
17.
17. Cool. All right. Well, this thing, this particular monstrosity that you now find yourselves face to face with, did not roll particularly well.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it did not go well for it. So you're all gonna go before it. Kelly, you are up first, however.
Oh boy. Well. Well, I'm assuming it sees me, so trying to hide
Yes,
is probably going to be counterproductive.
probably. We'll
And
probably need to.
probably be very, very hard for me right now. I'm assuming these are standard 5, or are they 10 squares? 5
5.
feet.
Yeah.
5,
And try to keep in mind which of you have advantage. I think like Max has 2, maybe 2 advantage.
Yeah, am I allowed to give those to other players?
That's a good question. Since they're
Or do I
donated, sure.
Cool.
I think what
Okay.
I'm gonna... Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just bop on up.
Uh-huh. You should be able to bop.
About there. I have bopped. And, I'm here. I'm a little freaked out. I'm gonna try to stab him real quick, see if that'll work out for me. It feels a little foolish, but you know what? It's what you gotta do. So where is...
Give it a shot. You would like to stab it.
I would love...
So yeah,
I would
roll
absolutely love to stab him.
to hit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use my daggers for this. I'm gonna use the short sword because he looks a little big and, alarming. So let me... Where is... So that is... What do I use for that?
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it,
Oh,
grip
no,
it,
buddy.
baby. Slop
Absolutely.
that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big
Does a
boy.
9 hit?
A 9, shockingly and unfortunately, does not hit. Which I mean, this is a smoke monster. So
I've
you
learned this.
try to hurt it.
I do. I freak out and I try to bap it, and that does not work.
You
So
bopped up to it. You tried to bap it. Didn't quite go off.
bapping did not succeed.
No,
All right.
bopping was fine.
Bopping would have worked. I bapped. I bapped when I should have bopped.
Yes. Yep. You bapped when you should have bopped. You're always doing that.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's all I can do at this point. I don't think I have a second.
Oh, chat says Mind Criminal gave Kelly advantage.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll another d20.
Fingers crossed.
That's much better.
Better,
And that is gonna be a
much
hit.
better.
Definitely better.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you hit. What are you hitting with?
It is my short sword. So it will be...
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Why is it doing this to me? Okay.
Nice.
So that is going to be a 7. 7 points.
7 points of damage. What type of damage is that? Is that slashing damage, maybe?
Yes, most likely. No, it's piercing.
No reason.
No
Piercing.
reason.
Okay.
I'm sure there's no reason why that matters.
No reason, just
Hey,
curious
dumbass.
what type it would be. You stab this thing with your short sword, and it finds purchase. You cut it, and you feel it slice through something solid. However, the gash that you leave behind, the smoke just sort of starts to fill it in, and you get the impression that you did not hurt it quite as much as you should have.
Cool.
Unfortunately. But you did hurt it.
I did hurt it.
You did hurt it.
I will tell it to eat sand and shit glass, and that's my turn.
It looks you dead in the eye, and in a raspy, terrible voice, it says, "You first."
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's rude on top of everything else.
On top of everything else,
Um,
bitch.
on top of everything else, but that's gonna be Max.
Okay. Okay. So Max is going to, I don't think I can get there running, but Max is going to run straight towards this dude. Just absolutely, the meat fell out of his mouth when we all made eye contact, but he's going to take, like, he's holding the meat, he's going to just like thrust the rest of the meat into like Kira's hands probably, and just start like sprinting over to the creature, just absolutely open mouth, just and is just gonna sprint all 40 feet over there. That's 5, 10, 8, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right next to Hunter actually. And
You're here for
mid
justice for
sprint,
Ryan.
yeah. I definitely didn't want to just slap Ryan. But yeah, Max is mid sprint, just you hear him just absolutely snarl. And I'm going to bonus action rage. And
Ooh.
as he's reaching, he's sprinting, and he reaches behind him and pulls out 2 hand axes. And when his hands come out from behind his back, you see that they're both just these, his hands are just way too big. Like his forearms and his hands are just these, they're just massive. They're just like cartoonishly massive. And they actually have like this like weird gray skin kind of claw look to them, and black feathers grow up to about his elbow, up to where like kind of the transformation ends, and he just goes "Ah!" and just and throws both hand axes immediately at this dude,
Nice.
trying to smash his face.
Hell yeah!
Um,
All right.
absolutely wild and frenzied with rage.
Okay, and I believe
If I can
that's
add like one little bit of flavor to that, like as you rush
Sure.
forward, the second before you like go to throw the axes, a group of ravens sort of like flies down and it's like circles Max before taking back up into the sky
Nice.
right as you
good.
release the axes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do that.
You do that.
Hand axes, I
Please.
do that. Let me just roll. Go ahead and roll that. That's going to be a roll. Plus 6. So this is the first one. It is a 24.
Oh,
And the second one is going
big
to
numbers.
be
Big numbers.
Get him, get him, get him, get him.
Nice.
second one is not as good. It's 3. But I have inspiration for next time I punch something, which I haven't gotten to yet. Okay, so the first one hits, and the first one will do.
So inspiration, you can use inspiration whenever you want. You don't have to just use it for punching.
Okay,
It
it's
was
1d4,
requested
right?
to use for punching.
Yeah.
It was requested to use for
This
punching.
is like this is a type of punching. I would argue.
The thing is, like, next turn I'm gonna punch him with my big, raven fist.
Man
So
hands.
All right.
yeah, my big main hand. So I think I'll just save it for then. But I did hit him at
Big
least
man
4
hands.
hits.
You did absolutely roll your damage.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Roll. I should just copy and paste this stuff. That's going
Great
to be
points from Chad. Axes are just thrown punches or sharp punches.
exactly.
Nice.
They're just sharp thrown punches. That's gonna be 5
Yeah.
damage, but I'm also going Wait. Oh, nope, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, and I'm just gonna just throw both of those axes. Those are my 2 axes that I have to throw. And I'm just screaming at this guy. And I don't even notice that Hunter is like next to me. I'm just absolutely
Mhm.
blazing a trail, just like fury in my eyes. My eyes are like shaking in wild fury. And yeah, I'm just like sprinting over to him, screaming. Guys, my turn for now.
Absolutely. You throw both of these axes, and one of them, this creature sees coming and just sort of like creates a hole in itself that your axe like sails through. But your first throw sort of disguised the second throw, and the second one sort of like clips it right in its shoulder, or where its shoulder would be. And
Right where it
again,
clipped
it's
me
sort of
10 years ago.
yeah. Well, maybe. Do you think this is? I mean, it could be. Who knows?
Max thinks it is. Max is like
Yeah.
shadowy pervert. Probably.
Probably same guy.
Probably. It
And I'm
definitely is the
just
same guy. No doubt
Same guy.
about it. Same guy for sure.
one
100%.
quick little question, which is what is this thing done that makes Max think it's a pervert?
It bursts out of Ryan's body. That's messed up.
Pretty perverted.
That's a very strange kink it has there, and it's
Arguably
twisted
perverted.
and messed up.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, so for a second, your axe sort of seems to like vibrate in the air where it hits the thing, like it's trying to like pass through some kind of barrier, and it sort of just ends up like skittering off to the side, like ricocheting. But you do hurt it. What was your damage total?
It was 9. Yes,
Okay,
9.
9.
I say next round,
Very good.
buddy.
Very good. All right. Next up in the initiative order, I believe, is Hunter.
That sounds
Y'all
right.
should be able to see the note. Maybe I don't know if you can see the note, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Hunter. It is Hunter.
All right, so I think the first thing Hunter is going to do is to summon her companion. And so to bring Callisto into the mix.
All right.
Yes.
Then allow us to do that.
Oh, nice! That's amazing!
Whoa.
We love to see.
So
I am delighted.
Callisto is a mount token. So if we put you on top of Callisto, you will be fixed onto Callisto until you move off. But you're not riding Callisto. So we'll just leave Callisto as is. Yeah, so the way it works, you can command Callisto as a bonus action to attack or do some other type of action. But yeah, what would you like to do for your turn?
Yeah, so for my turn, I'm going to
Actually,
take...
we should. Sorry, no. There's a.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. We should probably describe what
Yes.
happens here because it's very cool.
Please
Do you have a
describe this,
thought
of
for what it
course.
looks like when you summon Callisto?
I do. So I would see this as Hunter just kind of actually it seems oblivious to the fact that Max is raging beside them. They are entirely focused on just kind of centering themselves and connecting with all the points of nature around them. And as they're doing that, this being starts to form beside them. And at first, it looks very much insubstantial. It's not really clear what it is, but it slowly coalesces into this giant horse like being that has dark, not even really fur. It seems to be more made out of bark and thorns, with thorns protruding, particularly from the face and legs. And Hunter just puts their hand on the side of its neck and then would send Callisto forward to attack the being.
All right. So as a bonus action, you're commanding Callisto to attack. You should have Callisto's stats. if you want to move them and do what they want to do.
I shall do that. So I will roll. Would this be Dex or Strength?
I think it would be strength. But I believe you get to add your proficiency bonus to it because it's your primal companion.
Ooh, okay. That could be quite the number in that case.
I think this stat block says for attacks, like strength plus proficiency bonus or PB, something like that.
Yep, that makes sense. So let's roll that. 18.
Dang.
Wow.
Listo.
That would
Get it.
end up being, I cannot do math, but definitely in the low to mid 20s.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit. The type of damage Callisto does, I'm assuming, is physical.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, sort of a similar situation. Callisto sort of like charges in, tries to like gore this thing on the thorns protruding from its body, kind of like whips that thorny mane out at this creature as well as it goes. And definitely makes contact. So roll damage for Callisto.
Okay, that is 1d8 plus proficiency bonus. Plus 2 plus
Don't do
proficiency.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, that's decent. So that would be, I believe, 8 in total.
Yes, 8 in total. Similar situation. Even Callisto's thorns aren't quite able to hurt this thing, as insubstantial as it is, and so it rears back with a sort of almost a Nazgul cry of pain, but shakes it off very quickly and just sort of like shoves Callisto back slightly from it, physically. And yeah, very good. Okay, cool. So is it an action for you to summon your companion?
That is a good question that I was trying to find the answer to.
Well, let's say it's not. Let's say it's not for now. And so, oh, you know what? That was a charge. So you get to roll an additional 1d6 slashing damage.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get fancy.
Nice.
Fuck it up, Callisto.
Come on, Callisto.
Callisto, come on!
Come on, Callisto. All right. Well,
You're embarrassing me in public.
it always does at least one, so you did do some damage to it. Can you move Callisto up into the creature, the creature's grill? JD, thank you. Very good. All right, and last but certainly not least, Wayne Hovacek. What would you like to do?
Wayne turns to his teammates. He says, "Guys, stay back. This was personal." And he, as an action, he dashes. So he just is sprinting at this guy as fast as he can. While he's doing that, his hand goes to his neck, where there is a pendant of a mammoth head that begins to shine in his hands, and he summons a spiritual weapon behind the creature, and that spiritual weapon takes the form of a Zamboni. And I'm gonna roll to see if it hits. If it hits, then I'll tell you what happens with the Zamboni.
Okay. Shockingly, I don't have a Zamboni token ready.
I mean, DM, what were you doing with all that preparation time? Come on now.
Good question.
What the hell is this Zamboni?
So it's +5. It's a 12 if that hits.
A 12, unfortunately, is just shy.
Darn.
I'm gonna
Um,
give I want to give Wayne advantage. I'll give him my advantage
Can we do that?
Oh,
Do I get
okay.
that?
because I had to
Yeah,
stack, right?
yeah, you can do that.
Haven't used
Yep.
it.
Give it to me. Bingo.
Hey!
Bingo bongo.
Bingo
Nice.
bongo.
Bango, bongo.
So what I imagine is similar to Max screaming and running. Wayne is doing the same, running at this guy, and he's like, I imagine he turns to look at Wayne, and just behind him, very slowly pushing into him, is this Zamboni. He doesn't even realize it for a moment, and then it's like a rug stuck in a vacuum where his smoke is starting to get wound up in the wheels. It's getting blown out the back. It's a D8 plus 2, so I'll roll that D8.
Roll
An
that.
8. Yes, 4 damage.
Right. 4
That's
damage. Now we need
force
to.
damage, DM.
Yes. Oh, force damage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not that
Force damage.
matters.
Well, for the first time, it seems very upset. Your other attacks that have like hurt it slightly, it shakes them off very quickly. It sort of just fills in those missing gaps. But as its very being starts getting sucked up into the Zamboni, it does another one of those high-pitched howl noises, and it like barely manages to extract itself. It seems somewhat diminished from how it was before. But it is also now its turn. Also, Raph, did you say
Oh.
what's a Zamboni?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Wayne runs up, action, dash, runs right up to him. You fucked up there, bud. Now it's the end of my turn.
Okay. All right. Very good. You are all doing a very good job here. Well,
Thanks,
you're doing pretty
DM. Oh.
yeah.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna
So, what is it gonna do? Well,
We all got right in his face.
you did. You did. It has so many choices now. It has so many choices. The Zamboni is the only thing that it did not like, really. So it is going to attempt to reach out with one of those shadowy clawed hands and just sort of take a full-on. It's just going to try to palm Wayne's entire face with its hand, or what passes for its hand.
Try.
Is that a
Now, I will say this: as it reaches out from the shadows of the staircase, it seems in the sunlight, it seems weak. It seems smaller somehow. It seems like parts of it are sort of burned away by the direct contact with sunlight. So it is going to roll to try to touch Wayne.
And is this spell
Good
like?
luck.
Let me check on that. That's not the thing. That's not what I wanted to roll. Sorry, one sec.
68 does not hit.
It is not a spell-like ability.
Okay, I cannot help you.
Don't worry
But let's try that again.
Be all right.
There it is.
Eat
Doesn't
shit,
matter.
DM.
Bye.
All right, be nice to me.
No, eat sand and shit glass.
It tries to reach out for you, and it's like its hand sort of just like closes on empty space as you like pull back a little bit, just outside of its reach. Yeah. And it hisses in anger as it does so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is all that it does. That is all that it does. Cool. So yeah, we are back up to where we were at the top of the round, which is going to be Kelly.
Yay, it's me.
Kelly, you're up.
Well, so I saw the stabbing and the axe throwing and all that stuff did a little bit, but it didn't super duper help. So I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different, which is I'm gonna reach out and try to touch him. And let's see if I can first, because this is a melee touch. $17.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Nice.
Cool. So Kelly's gonna reach out and touch it and do 3d10 of necrotic damage.
Wow.
Nice.
Give me. Hold on there, big shoots.
I want to inflict wounds on it.
Shoots.
I want to fuck up its jazz. Am I allowed to fuck up its jazz?
You like jazz?
Is it immune to necrotic or something? Or at least resistant?
Oh no, Will, come on.
I play D&D, man.
What's the jazz?
You can do that. You reach out, you touch it. We've come too far, I think. You reach out, you try to grab it with your necrotic damage, but it does not seem to hurt from it. This like sort of I imagine. Well, what does it look like? What does this spell look like for when Kelly does it?
When Kelly does it, so it does have kind of a similar green color to what a lot of the kind of like Borrowcraft has, but there's definitely it's muted. It's almost paler. It flickers almost like it's not necrotic magic in its own essence is not necessarily natural, but even then when Kelly uses it, it looks borrowed almost.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Should I even bother to roll it?
You don't have to, because unfortunately it is immune to necrotic damage. But what happens is you reach out with this sort of light, this green light sort of emanating from you. You sort of grab a fistful of it, and it almost seems to. It doesn't draw strength from it, but its head swivels, and those red eyes fix on you, and it says, "Ah, sister."
What the fuck?
I'll just spit in its face area.
Okay.
I'm not taking that shit lying down. No, fuck you.
All right. Absolutely. You can absolutely spit in its face, and I think you should. I think
do.
more people should.
I spit directly
it's
into its face.
It's now Max's turn. It's now the face of the beast.
All right. Still screaming. Sprint over to it. 40 feet. And as I go over to it, I just like bust out, like claws out, and just like and just claw at him. I'm going to try to do one attack with claws through my beastly form. So
Okay.
let me roll for that first DM.
I wish you would.
No. Okay. Which is actually I don't have it written here. On a hit. I don't know what my attack would be though. I'm assuming it's an unarmed strike because I'm literally clawing at him.
That sounds right. I mean, I would assume it's just your proficiency bonus plus strength.
I think it is.
It's just a melee attack.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Okay, cool. So that would be this proficiency plus, and our proficiency is currently what? +3. Perfect. So that would be beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna do one of those, one dem claws, and that's gonna be a 17. And then because I can deal claws, basically lets you attack twice, like once with your claw, twice with your claws, as one attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again.
My God, you're a machine.
I'm a beast, son.
Much like a Zamboni.
Much like a Zamboni.
Which is also a machine.
So that's gonna be a 17 and a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
And then I will go ahead and roll the damage for that as well.
Please do.
I don't think I add anything to that. I'll just roll both at the same time, actually, instead of having to roll twice.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just the die plus your strength. I'd imagine that you add your strength to it, but I don't know if that's the case. It would
It
depend, I think,
1d6
if it's
slashing
considered.
damage.
It's 1d6 plus
Okay,
your strength.
then yeah, just
Yeah. I
Nice.
mean, but I'm assuming, I think that's up to you, DM. If you just want
I
it to
think
be
Corey just
1d6.
looked it up.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, then I did not write it down properly.
plus my strength, boys.
Yeah,
That's
1d6 plus your strength, and you hit
Okay,
twice.
then so I'm just gonna roll 2d6 plus double my strength, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So okay, cool. So that's gonna be 14 damage total. With my first attack.
Nice.
Second attack.
Okay.
I actually,
Jesus.
instead of wanting to use my claws, I actually just want to like bludgeon him by just like punching him. I just want to punch him
Okay.
really hard, like really hard.
Okay. You can try to do
I
that.
just want to bap him.
Bap him.
Really hard with some bludgeoning. And that's also like strength. No, that's gonna be a 9. Wait, I have
That's rough,
inspiration though.
buddy.
Do you still have? Oh, do you
That's
still
true.
have the inspiration?
I have inspiration, and they did want me to punch it, and that's what I wanted to save it for. So inspiration
You
is
are
you said,
punching.
is it a 1d4? Would that
Yes,
make it if I rolled like very high? If I rolled a 4, would I still be
potentially.
able to do it?
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, let's go for it. No, okay, I rolled an 11. That's fine.
You got very close, but it is not quite enough.
I came very close. Okay, that's fine.
You did. You did. So yeah, you punch. You put your fist into this thing. You punch into it, and it just kind of like looks down and like puts its arm onto your arm, puts its hand, its like shadowy claw hand onto yours, and these like shadow tendrils start to like wind their way up your arm.
Ooh. I'm just slashing at it. I'm just like,
Yes.
pervert, pervert, pervert. I'm just like one track mind right now, and it is destroy, kill.
I think there's just like there's a brief moment where those like shadows, like you punch it, nothing happens. You realize nothing happened. These shadows are like starting to wind up your body, and you try to like pull your fist back, and like there's no mechanical effect, but it's creepy and it doesn't feel good. Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. That was Max Hunter. You are up.
All right. So I think what Hunter is
no,
going.
Ryan's dead. I didn't mean to click him.
Zombie.
No.
No, please.
So I think first Hunter is going to step to the side so they can get a clear shot because there are so many around this creature, and then they are going to break out their bow and shoot. So let's see how this goes.
Let's do it.
Oh, I have to remember
that. Yeah, that is not going to be great. I mean, that's going to be 14.
Hey.
That is enough. 14 is enough.
Awesome. I forgot how high my dex was.
Yeah. Well, and armor classes in 5e just tend to be on the lower end. In general.
So that is going to be, if I can ever find my weapons again.
I believe bow would be 1d8.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
and I
that's right.
believe you get to add your dex to that.
Oh.
So that is going to be +7, so 13.
Good God.
Get him.
Okay. What's the +7 from? Because I don't think your dex modifier can be +7.
Sorry, yes, I was looking at the wrong place. So +3, so 9. Still good.
Okay.
Still very
that makes more sense. But yes, still very good. Okay, very good. Yeah. Again, your physical attacks are just having a very hard time finding purchase in this thing, but you are doing enough of them that it's starting to look like it's regretting its choices. It is looking like it wants to sort of step back away from you all, but this freaking Zamboni is behind it.
Boxed in.
And speaking of that Zamboni, it's Wayne's turn. Unless you want to spend a bonus action, Hunter, to have Callisto attack.
So I do. I don't know how this attack could go. I will go with the slashing damage if that is the only option, but I am curious if I can command Callisto to grab and drag, because I want to drag this
Interesting.
thing into the sunlight.
Oh.
Oops, sorry.
Okay. Well, I will let you know that it is effectively in the sunlight already.
Okay.
So you don't have to drag it into it. It's just not happy in the sunlight. And it was a little more in the shade on the stairs, but it's still getting the full effect of the bad stuff.
Yeah, then I think I'll just have Callisto do slashing damage.
Good. This one's not a charge, so this would be your spell attack modifier. That's what it uses.
Okay.
And I believe as a ranger, yours is wisdom based.
That sounds right.
So it'll just be your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
So that
That's gonna
would
hit.
be, yep, that would be 17, I believe.
Nice. Yep, that is enough to hit, definitely. And it'll be 1d8 plus 2 plus your proficiency bonus and damage.
All right, so that'll be 9.
Nice. Heck yeah.
9. Very good. Yeah, Callisto just really getting in there. MVPing. Yeah, once again, Callisto just kind of like tosses its head. More thorns go into this thing. It's trying to wrap the like vines in its mane around it, and it's starting to succeed. But this thing is still sort of like slipping in and out of the physical grasp that Callisto is able to put on it. Zamboni.
Hey, that's me. Wayne again clutches the pendant on his chest and he uses his bonus action to make the Zamboni attack. It's +5, I believe. Oop, let me do it.
Come on, Zamboni.
Well, Zambone.
Mm,
That's a 17.
hell yeah.
17 plus 5 is 22. So we'll start out with
Get him,
this
get him, get him.
nice little D8 plus 2. Nice little bat 4. Heck yeah. And then Wayne, I guess you'll have to do this the old-fashioned way then, huh? And unsheaths his hockey stick, which is gleaming, ready for the game tonight. The mammoth skull emblazoned on it is just looking beautiful in the sunlight here. Wayne is going to take 2 swings at this thing. +7 to hit. Let's start with the first one and see what happens. That's a 2 plus 7 is a 9. Does
Not
not
enough,
hit, I don't
unfortunately.
believe.
Does
All
not
right,
hit.
let me get this
No.
one. 11
Okay.
plus
That's a
7 is
hit.
an 18. All right, cool. So
That's a big
Wayne
ol'
is
hit.
going to slash up from the bottom right-hand corner to the top left, cutting through this thing, and is going to divine smite as he does.
Yes.
Use a
Get
spell
hugged.
slot to go ahead and do that. I'll just use a first level spell slot,
Chef's
but
kiss.
in my mind, it like as it's swinging through the air, ice just forms around it. The stick itself almost gets like an armor of Agathis effect, and as it blasts
Yes.
through him, the ice shatters as it goes through. So that is my hockey stick has a plus. It's
Your
a
Gretzky
D10.
stick.
My Gretzky stick, excuse me, Gritsky is
Yes, the Gretzky
1d10
stick, please.
plus 4, so that's 12 damage,
Jeez.
12 slashing damage, and then it's another 2d8 for. Oops. It's
divine
2d8
smite.
for. Is that a d8? I think I
Yep.
just rolled that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's a
did.
D8.
That's
me.
one
It's a
d8.
freaking A.
That's another d8. DM, is it a fiend or an undead?
it is one
Cool.
of those two things.
Cool. So I do another. I think it's 1d8 plus 1d8 against fiends or undead. So
Ruin its fucking life.
so that's 2 plus 3 plus 8, so 13, and that's all radiant damage if that matters. DM.
Okay, good to know. So
Ruin
13
him.
damage
Really
total.
does ruin his life.
All
This is a
right.
hater. This is a
Um,
hater.
It howls in pain. It throws its head back. And you know, the red light in its eyes blazes up into sort of an inferno. It looks panicked at this point. It looks like it's sort of searching for an escape route. It can't find one, and it sort of fixes Wayne. It sort of fixes its gaze back on Wayne instead of Kelly now. And as it stares at you, it says come with me. Like it's going to lunge at you because it is about to lunge at you.
You're not going
Um,
anywhere. I got you for 3 minutes.
That was your fast. I got you for 3 minutes.
Seems an important question. When Wayne pulled the Gretzky stick out, did he throw his gloves down first?
Oh, hell yes, he did.
Very good. Oh wait, you know what? It's not even quite its turn yet. I believe Kelly is first, isn't she?
Didn't
No,
get to
sorry,
go.
Kelly is first. It is its turn.
Its turn and
Yeah.
then
It
Kelly.
is its turn. Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, it is going to once again try to grab you, try to latch onto you, but at this point it's like trying to take you down with it. And it's not in ideal conditions here, obviously. Okay. So that's an 18 and a 17. One of those will hit you. Well, actually, it's a 17 because it rolled a disadvantage.
That doesn't hit.
That doesn't hit.
No. AC of
Goodness.
18.
All right.
Oh.
Damn. Okay.
Let's go.
The disadvantage is clutch. All right. Well done. It tries to grab onto you again, but the this sort of like icy light that's sort of radiating off of Wayne. Not sure like if it's supernatural or if it's just a trick of the light or what, but like it can't seem to safely grab him. It's doing it almost gingerly. And now it is Kelly's turn.
Almost pervy like.
Don't mess
One
up my
could make
jersey.
an argument, I
I
suppose.
got a game in a couple hours. Don't mess up my jersey, bro.
Well, I've got some options here. I have potentially another spell I could try, but also it is well within 5 feet of several allies, so I could just sneak attack the shit out of it.
Yes.
You could. You absolutely could.
Which I think in this moment I am inclined to do. And I realized when I rolled it with my short sword the first time, I used the wrong thing because I think it's supposed to be a +5.
Okay. Well, it's session 1, so understandable.
I'm learning how to play this character, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all are.
So because it is in melee, I don't have to roll. Okay, so let's see how this goes.
Let's do it.
Did it roll? 16 to hit.
Pretty sure that's good. That is
So
good. You hit.
So it'll be 1d6 of regular damage plus plus 2. So 5, and then
How many d6s do you get?
for
sneak?
my sneak attack right now, I only get 2. 3d6.
Two mas,
So
I think.
So another 4.
So a total of 10?
Yep.
Nice.
You sneak attack it.
He lunges at Wayne, and I just stab him right in the back shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Nice.
You
Nice.
stab it in the back. It like rears back. Actually, I'm going to say that the stab is the reason why it like recoils at the last second and doesn't quite grab Wayne. So you like sort of like come up behind it, stab it. It like recoils, arches its back, such as it is, and misses Wayne. He's able to dodge out of the way. You guys are sort of like just sort of dancing around it at this point, almost just like slowly wearing it down. And like for having spent 10 years apart, the synergy at work here is impressive.
It is.
It's really incredible what your love and respect for Ryan Beckinsale has allowed for you all
Whoa.
to do.
Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The vibes in this bitch are
and
immaculate.
That's my friend right
Max,
there,
Max is up.
lying on the ground.
All right. Max is gonna keep doing what he does best, which is rip and shred and absolute violence. So let's go. Once
Absolute
again,
violence.
he's gonna do one attack. With his claws, still screaming pervert on repeat because his mind is completely blank. He does no thoughts. No thoughts had pervert right now.
But this time Max's cries of pervert are directed at dishonest. So
Exactly. That's a 17 for the first one, and a 19 for the second one. So I'm assuming I hit, and that's going to
yes,
be
you do.
was my
Oh no.
I'll just do the 2d6 thing again. So I'll do 2d6 plus
Okay.
8 instead of the
works.
2 separate rolls. So it's gonna be
Nice.
17 points of damage for my first attack. And then as I kind of like reach back, it looks like I'm gonna claw him again. I actually just pull out my my great axe and just try to smash it into him.
Okay.
And I will do that. Which
Get him.
is I will do my best. She's this a dirty 20, and
That is enough. That is more than enough.
okay, perfect. Yeah. And that's gonna be 1d12 plus 4. 6. Oh, just kidding. No, that's good. I'm good. Yeah. So I
Okay.
slashed at him with my claws, and then pulled out my great axe and just like smashed
Slammed it down.
slammed it onto his little head. I'm assuming it's
All right.
little compared to my fists.
It is little. Yeah, your fists are huge. So the how much damage did you do with the great axe?
Oh, I think it's 6. So it was a total of 23 damage.
Yeah, I got the first claws. I just needed the great axe damage, so that was
Gotcha.
6.
Just 9.
Okay.
Oh no,
all right.
6. 6.
Um,
6. Yeah.
So you like lash, you like grab this thing with your claws, and you just are ripping and tearing and screaming pervert at it. And you're just shredding layers of smoky flesh off of this thing as it's just sort of writhing in pain. It's trying to like claw its way up out of the awful whirlwind that is like Max Miller. And then you pull the axe out, you hit it with the axe, you slam it straight down to the ground where it like gathers itself to just try to like shoot up into the sky. It looks like it's gathering itself to jump or fly away. You don't know, but it's trying to gather itself. And before it can do that, though, Hunter gets to act.
All right.
Get him.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna shoot, but I'm also gonna send my my steed at it as well.
Stomp on it.
All right, let's start with the shoot
Okay.
because you may not even need Callisto.
All right. So that would be only a 12.
That isn't. That can't be right. Shooting your bow,
I believe so.
because it would be your proficiency bonus plus your dexterity modifier.
Never mind. All right, that would be 16.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
15.
Good. So yeah, you
15.
hit.
Would
Still
15 still hit? Okay.
Yes. So roll 1d8 plus your dexterity modifier, and that may be all it takes. We'll see.
So that'll be only 5.
Okay. Your arrow hits it and sort of like pins it to the ground once again, and you can send Callisto in to try to finish the job.
I'm going to do that.
Cool. Callisto rears
Callisto,
back
come on,
and
Callisto.
tries to bring some thorny hooves down on this thing to just finish the job.
Come on, Callisto.
That
Come
is
on.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
baby.
That is going to do it.
Alright.
And I don't think it's mechanically possible for Callisto to not kill it. So, this like with sort of this last sort of gasp, this thing is like now like basically sort of a small puddle of shadow with two tiny pin pricks of red, looking up, and it's sort of like bubbling up, trying to form some semblance of a solid shape again, when Callisto like rears back and then brings one thorny hoof like down on top of it, and the shadows just disperse as this thing floats away. The red lights linger for just a second as the smoke starts to fade away, and you hear that same voice, um, that same voice that you've heard so many times already in this fight, taunting you, say, "He still lies dead." And then it's gone on the wind. Gone on the wind, leaving the four of you standing in stunned silence, facing each other for the first time in 10 years, with Ryan's dead body just feet away from you.
Run to Ryan.
Are there?
What do you do when you get there?
I slap him, and then I scoop him up.
Oh,
That's growth. That's growth, Max.
we love to
That's
see it.
growth right there. So Max, I mean, is Max maybe, are you
Slap.
crying? You slap
I
him,
think
you scoop him up.
no. I think Max is he's still enraged. So in rage mode. So I don't think he's crying.
Yeah,
I think
fair.
he's just like hasn't stopped screaming this entire time.
Okay.
And it's just like holding Ryan's dead body and just like screaming, just like
Okay.
unsure of what to do, not sure what the heck is going on, but knows that it sucks.
So
And as the rest of you sort of stand around in silence, watching this happen, as you watch Max just sort of slapping Ryan, we're gonna sort of pan out up over the square in Calderon and call our first session right there.
Oh my god.
That was wonderful.
Wait,
That
I need
was
to deal with my
amazing.
emotions.
Yeah, I mean, there will be plenty of emotions next time to start with, for sure. All right, cool. Well, that's it.
Should've
That's
been
session
good.
1. Thanks for
oh man.
being here, everybody. We did it.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, so we'll do our wind down. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching us tonight. If you've watched all of these streams before, if it's your first time joining us, thank you so much. If you donated, if you followed, if you subscribed, any of that really means the world to us, and we can't thank you enough. It's the only reason we get to keep doing what we're doing, and everything that we collect money wise from these streams all gets put back into a good cause. Subscriptions, donations, bits, all of it. So yeah, we raised a lot of money tonight, I'm sure, for Planned Parenthood. Thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more class reunion. Tomorrow night is another big premiere on our channel. It is going to be the premiere of Fury Brick Road, which is another D&D 5e game that is set in the world of the Wizard of Oz. It's gonna be wild, and I would really recommend tuning in for that. A lot of our cast members from other games are in that one, as well as some new people, and it's gonna be run by Della, who is one of our GMs, and she's fantastic. So definitely come back for that tomorrow night at 7:30. If you want to keep up with what we are doing and know when we go live and things like that, you can follow us on Twitter. It is right there on the screen at Live from the APOC. And you can also join our Discord server, which is just a very nice community full of very nice people. You can find people to play games with there. You can get advice there, mostly related to gaming. It's a nice place, but you know. Yeah, feel free to hop in there if you want. Everybody's very nice. Everybody's very friendly. We would love to have you. We are going to disappear for like 1 second, and then we are going to raid our friend Amber, who is still streaming. And so stick around for that. And thank you so much once again for joining us. We will see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. We love
Have a good
you.
night.
We love you.
I love
We
you.
love you.
I
We do
love
love
you.
you.